Love Actually was okay. Let's be real.
If you're just tuning in, this is Fan 23, Fansville's #1 sports radio station.
Brought to you by Tasty Dr. Pepper.
We are settling the great debate, best third quarter snack, hot dogs or nachos?
You know my mantra, Doug.
Yes.
Meaty early, cheesy late.
Well, it looks like we have a caller here to weigh in. Is this Chuck?
Popcorn in the third is the move.
What?
You go with passive snacking after halftime.
No, it's nachos.
Look, as long as there's an ice cold Dr. Pepper there to wash it down, I'm good with either. Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
Hey, you know, people talk about spreading holiday cheer. Overrated. I had some holiday cheer last year, and you know what? Lasted a couple of hours. Then whoosh, gone. Just like that. However, spreading holiday comfort with Skechers, now that's something your loved ones will enjoy long after the new year. Because Skechers has footwear for the whole family that will be the most comfortable, stylish holiday gifts under the tree. To start, there's hands-free Skechers slip-ins. You just step into them and they're on. You don't need to bend down and touch your shoes. Find hands-free Skechers slip-ins in a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
So I have been in the operating room most of my career, watching people have orthopedic surgery, watching people get knees replaced, hips replaced, shoulders fixed, and I knew there had to be a better way.
That's Dr. Daniel Zuckerman, a medical director for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in non-invasive regenerative treatments for pain relief.
I see so many people who could have been helped before they got to the operating room if only they had known about regenerative medicine.
QC Kinetics, a natural alternative that uses your body's own healing properties to help restore and repair damaged joint tissue, providing long-lasting relief without drugs, surgery, or downtime.
Well, it feels great when I do get to see somebody who we help, who I know I kept out of the operating room. It's amazing how we change people's lives without surgery.
Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Jacksonville area attorneys. Offices in Jacksonville and by appointment only in Ponte Vedra Beach. Online at CordellCordell.com. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
Hi, I'm Mike Lester, the founder of Talon Wealth and the host of the Guarding Your Nest Egg radio show. Like you, I love this country, and I'm very thankful for those that protect us along with our freedoms. That's why for active military and active first responders, if you decide to work with us, Talon Wealth isn't going to charge you any advisor fees. We're happy to explain all the details, but most importantly, thank you for your service.
Visit guardingyournestegg.com to find out more.
Advisory services through Talon Private Wealth and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. Florida License D056341.
The deal of the year is here at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Right now, save thousands off original MSRP on pre-owned 2023 models, like a Toyota Corolla LE starting at just $18,881, a 2023 Toyota Camry LE or RAV4 LE as low as $23,881. You can even get a 2023 Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road 4x4 as low as $38,881. Shop arlingtontoyota.com and save thousands today. Terms and conditions apply. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/offers for details.
Nights of Lights is back through January 31st, and this year Redboat Tours has something special for you. Our first of the day Nights of Lights tour has a new schedule, departing at 5:15, giving you a 1.5-hour magical experience. Watch the sunset, cruise through downtown, and pass under the famous Bridge of Lions. Then get ready for the extravaganza that is Nights of Lights.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. An update on Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence today from coach Doug Peterson. High right ankle sprain, but escaped further damage. If he can't play Sunday, C.J. Beathard starts against the Browns. Jacksonville currently 4th in the AFC, up a game on the Texans and Colts in the AFC South. ESPN NFL insider Dan Graziano.
If Trevor Lawrence is out or limited, I think that puts them in a bad position with regard to their next two games, which are against the Browns and the Ravens. Two incredibly tough defenses and two AFC playoff contenders that are obviously playing for something. So I think they're in some trouble.
Dan Graziano on Carlin versus Joe. You heard him reference Pittsburgh is the 5th seed in the AFC. Cleveland's the 6th, and both of those teams are 2 back of AFC North leading Baltimore. Giants quarterback Tommy DeVito will start against the Packers Monday night. The Jets releasing quarterback Tim Boyle, who started the last 2 games. They're also signing Brett Rippon from Seattle's practice squad. Angels GM Perry Manassian putting to rest any speculation about Mike Trout, said they are 100% not trading their center fielder.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
I feel like I'm constantly cleaning hair off my bathroom floor. At least my Swiffer sweeper makes it easy. Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths have ultra-thick pads to trap and lock hairs, like a hair magnet. And when I'm finished cleaning up my hair, Sweeper takes care of his too. Now the hair's gone, all thanks to Swiffer. Try Swiffer Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths. I promise you'll love them or your money back. And also try Swiffer Sweeper Wet to make quick work of tough, sticky messes.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends.
Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
We're getting a little punchy around here, people. It's been a lot in a row.
I would love to punch you guys.
Ow! It really hit me.
Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and Kasey Kuhrts. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Well, I don't usually start the show with how you feeling, Jacksonville, but I feel like there's a mixture of emotions after last night. I still don't know how the heck I feel. This morning at the breakfast table, not that we really eat breakfast as a family, I was doing a little work after some live shots. Ty's getting ready, Steph's doing her thing, and there was silence in the house. Nobody was even talking about the Jags game last night. And I felt like that might have been the way all of Jacksonville was.
The Jags played last night?
Yeah, we're just waiting. Well, the defense didn't, other than Josh Allen. But I think everybody was just waiting and waiting and waiting. And then at 12:30 today, Doug Peterson with a bit of good news, which should make everybody feel a little bit better, that Trevor Lawrence, one, is not done for the season, and certainly appears like he will come back at some point. In fact, Doug didn't rule out this Sunday. I think that's a crazy notion after what I watched last night, that he would play on Sunday. But you get the point. Then there's a lot to be frustrated and mad about. This defense. Why? Why does it show up like that? Where did that come from? Why couldn't they find an answer to Jake Browning? 354 yards and 32 out of 37 and setting records. What year is this? What kind of Jags team is this? That's like 2011 or 2019, 2020. Like, what is that? Does not happen under this rendition of the Jags, and it did. Why can't they win at Everbank Stadium? And then just the emotion of the actual loss, a missed opportunity, top seed, potential. And even despite everything happening with all the injuries, the Jags had a chance to win that football game. And they didn't. So that's a lot, guys. I don't know how you're feeling about it, but there's a mixture of emotions, I'm sure, today in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I don't feel like there's much of a mixture at all. I think it's just one emotion permeating throughout the entire million-plus people living in this 5-county area.
What is it?
Which 'tis pain, Brent.
I would say sadness, but sure, pain. That works too.
Everybody's in pain. Players, fans, probably coaches.
Man, I'll tell you what. I was watching.
That one guy went down for the Bengals coach that he fell.
I did see that. I was watching the game last night. When Trev goes down, I've got my hands up at the side of my head in the oh no fashion. And then the television cameras span the crowd. And wouldn't you know it, all 70,000 at the bank were doing the same exact thing. Like, oh no.
There was a lot of oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was such an oh-no that I wonder if that's why Brendan McManus even missed the kick right after.
You think the injury iced him?
Well, in a way, it was just a weird feeling in the stadium.
Definitely
right?
took the air out of the place, didn't it?
It absolutely did, and for good reason, by the way. When you watch the quarterback hardly be able to get up, spike his helmet, and pound the turf, and then take minutes to get off the field, yeah, I think that's reason for, oh, no. And you wonder if McManus kind of lost a sense of concentration while the building was wondering what was going on with Trevor. And it turns out that was a huge kick, right? Because they go down and get a kick to take the lead. And amazingly, C.J. Beathard did a nice job to get them in position. I thought they almost had a chance to win that game. It was second and short, then third and short. They couldn't cash in. Thought they had to win it right there, and it proved to be I was right because they tied it, go to overtime, and then lose in overtime. First, let's start with Trevor. How do you take this, guys? It's a high ankle sprain. That can mean a lot of things. I believe we're probably all on the same page where we don't think he's going to play against the Browns. Now, Doug Peterson did not say that, won't commit to that. He said he won't put him in a box, but they're going to put him in a lot of ice, I can tell you that, over these next couple of days. And I doubt he practices on Wednesday, and I can't imagine he practices on Thursday. Remember, this is a short week now for the Jaguars. There's no way he plays on Sunday, right?
It just feels so unlikely, especially after watching him come off the field last night. You've seen guys twist their ankles to different severities or have their ankles sprained to different severities, and this one looks like a rough one.
I will say this, though, and yeah, I don't expect him to play against the Browns, but shout out to whatever this man did for the first years of his life to strengthen his ankles.
Yeah.
Because that thing, Brent, I don't know if you remember this moment. We went to UFC, BU in Austin, and we had a shot at one time in one of the matches of a dude's ankle that was bending, and we all looked away because we thought it was popping. I don't know if you remember this moment. But that's what kind of happened last. It was bending, and you're like, oh, as you watch the replay, and you're like, holy cow, nothing happened there other than a sprain. So, like, whatever this man did to work out his ankle bone for the last 20 years, shout out to him because them boys are the realest of real.
I actually was more concerned about the knee than the ankle when I saw that replay. That looked gnarly.
Yeah, there was some that, too, by the way. You know, everybody's a Twitter doctor, especially on a Monday Night Football game, and they actually do have, like, the docs chime in, and some people were concerned, I think, about the knee in that situation.
Looked rough.
And that obviously got cleared. No structural damage. The one thing you knew when the reports started to fly about the ankle sprain, that meant the x-rays were negative, and that was a really good sign about a fracture. Today, the MRI revealed nothing else from a structural standpoint. So, again, this is a sprain, which most people have had an ankle sprain. It doesn't usually look like that. And you'll wonder how quick he can bounce back. He's bounced back from the knee, and he bounced back a year ago to the day against the Detroit Lions when we thought he was lost for the season at the end of that half in Detroit. A miserable performance by the Jags, by the way, that day, mostly by the defense, much like last night. And he came back in that game, and it led to kind of where we are today with the Jags franchise because of the push they had late in the season, which you don't figure they would have done without Trevor Lawrence. So I think, honestly, in my mind, guys, I'm not even preparing for him for the next couple of weeks. I say see you in Tampa on Christmas Eve. That's the Christmas present for the Jags fan is Trevor comes back on Christmas Eve. I would not rush him back. And the way this thing now shakes out, it's not about the top seed. It's about trying to win the division and make the playoffs. And if you win the last 3 games of the year with Trevor Lawrence at least feeling healthy and better, and you hopefully playing better football than last night, well, now you're going to have 11 wins, and I think that gets you into the postseason and probably still wins the AFC South with all the tiebreakers. I'm thinking he misses the next couple. I have no idea. Nobody's going to say that right now. But I would be surprised if he plays in the next 2 weeks. How about you guys?
Yeah, of course, especially if he's on the mend and he's not 100%, which actually Doug referenced today in the press conference. We'll get to those cuts in a little bit. But if you're able to, I mean, if the number 1 seed or even a bye week is kind of out of reach as you move forward while Trev is on the mend, why not take your time as long as you've still got a lock on the AFC South or at least get him back in time for games that will help you accomplish that?
I'll definitely go with you, Cleveland. Again, judging by what you saw last night, it probably feels like Baltimore's not really in play. But, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I'm up in the air about Baltimore. But Cleveland, definitely not. I'd be stunned, shocked, all the words.
Yeah, and so that leaves C.J. Beathard. Can the Jags win one of these next 2 football games, potentially, given my scenario with C.J. Beathard at
Totally.
quarterback. Can they beat the Browns? They probably can't beat the Ravens. Can you beat the Browns?
Listen, it's the NFL. You could beat either one of those teams. We thought the Bengals were going to lose by 30 last night. But
yes.
I would say absolutely the Browns are beatable based on what you've seen recently, especially with Joe Flacco, who, by the way, was brought back down to the practice squad after he started the game on Sunday. So
shout out.
It's not like the Browns are in such great shape that we're walking in there.
That's a formality, by the way.
Whatever it is, it's not like the Browns are in such great shape either. They're playing with their deficiencies, whether it be at quarterback
they got
or
4
other
quarterbacks
positions.
playing.
By the way, the Browns.
Do we have one?
The Browns 5-1 at home.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It is a little bit of a different look on the defense today than it was a month ago. Certainly on the offense than it was a month ago. You got to see where Amari Cooper is going to be after exiting the game last weekend. But that Baltimore game looks tough. But if you look at what Baltimore's done this year, they've dropped a few games to teams they should have beaten. So you just don't know. C.J. Beathard looked good last night for his limited action.
I think they can beat Cleveland with C.J. Beathard, but they have to run the football.
Yes.
Well, yeah, and I don't know if they can run the football, Casey. You know, like that's the thing. They haven't done that very well. Now, we went over this yesterday. Teams are starting to put up numbers against the Browns. But here's what Sunday is to me. And it's a lot like what happened in the New Orleans game. When he had the knee injury and is he going to play? Is he not going to play? We're watching him walk into the stadium and warming up and all eyes on Trevor. He's got the brace on. What happened that day is, they got the ball out quick, but the offensive line did a hell of a job that day because they played with a purpose to not let anybody touch their guy. Well, you know what? On Sunday, the Jags' whole team will have to play with a purpose, and there's plenty to prove for this defense that looked gross last night against a backup quarterback. Like, they have something to prove. I think the offensive guys, the line, everyone else will tighten things up and play with a purpose behind C.J. Beathard to keep this thing going in the right direction. Like, I feel like something like this can sometimes galvanize you. It can also stun you, and I don't know where the Jags are. Last night, probably a little bit stunned. Today, with better news on Trevor, maybe a little bit more galvanized by the time they get back on the practice field tomorrow and set for the Browns. You never know how it's going to happen. But I think if they could steal a win in Cleveland, I think it would do big things for their chances to make the postseason. Do you guys, you got to agree with me now, right? This is just about getting to the playoffs with the situation the Jags have. And it's not just Trevor. Christian Kirk's probably done for the season unless they do some crazy good things late in the postseason and he comes back. He's going to have core muscle surgery. Basically, you're looking at the groin area, and he's out, and that was tough. And the Jaguars have other guys like Herndon and Fatukasi and Walker Little. And don't forget now, Cam Robinson, Jamal Agnew, like all these guys. The offense we're going to talk about in a bit starting to get banged up. But just get in the playoffs is the mantra now, right, for the Jags. It's not even about home, away, whatever.
It's tough to admit that. And I don't want to go fully there, but the thinking is rational, obviously, right? Like, there are priorities and a list of what you need to accomplish and things you want to accomplish. And getting to the playoffs is the key right now with your backup quarterback.
Yeah, it's certainly not a lock, but I don't think even with what happened last night, there's a ton of concern that they will not be in the playoffs in one way or another.
You have 2 streaking teams coming up behind you.
I get it, but one football game, last night you had the conference record that would put you as the number 1 seed. So you feel good about the teams that you have beaten. You feel good about the teams you have left. I understand Houston and Indy don't really play anybody the rest of the way, which is kind of sketch, but you've got what you need against those teams. So you've beaten Pittsburgh already.
But before you lost last night, before the Jags lost last night, you're talking about a 3-loss team. And
I get it.
Okay.
Same record as Kansas City? I don't think there's worry there yet.
Yeah, I there's a lot to worry about today, though. It's not just Trevor.
I agree.
I said this last night, guys, and I think a lot of people agree with this, really. From the Jags were in the elite conversation. The bottom line is, how good are they? To be determined. Do we think they're as good as San Francisco, the Eagles, maybe even Dallas? Probably not. We've said that. But in the AFC, they had a chance to get the top seed yesterday and at least control that and stay healthy, and all those other things would have to go into play. But they had that opportunity, which puts them in that conversation, whether you think they are or not. But I'll tell you 2 things that stand out to me about this football team that screams they're not there yet. And one is the physical play. When they need it in the trenches, they don't get it on offense. More 3rd and 1 misery yesterday a couple of times, and then they got beat up by a Bengals offensive line in the trenches yesterday, which is almost inexplicable. The other side of it is, to me, inconsistency. They just can't have these just gulfs between your play or acceptable play and then these I go on vacation for a game kind of play. Like, how do you explain what happened to the defense yesterday?
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know that you can. I
mean, Kasey, Monday Night Football, crazy crowd in Jacksonville. I can almost understand if the offense gets too amped up and not settled down and can't execute. This plays right into the hands of a defense. Get amped up, play off the energy, feed off it, go crush somebody. Like, this is the perfect recipe for your defense to play lights out. And they laid an egg.
It's tough. It's really bad. There's no other way to put it. I think I go back to what happened against Houston, and I think we all said at that, or actually it was a little bit later when they started playing well. I think we all kind of agreed that what it looked like against Houston would probably happen again at some point. Well, it did last night. And I put more so of what happened last night on their pass rush and their defensive line as a whole. Like, yes, they were getting the ball out quick. You got to get there. Like, Josh Allen is doing legitimately everything that is humanly possible at that position. Trayvon Walker's had moments. Do they rush from the interior? Like, I'm dead serious. Do they? Because it feels like at times they just have human beings on the field, but like, I mean, that's the thing that I just can't get out of my head.
It's funny you say that, Case. I know you hate PFF, but if you look at the grades on the pass rush, the interior is just like Mr. Invisible up and down.
I mean, that's the thing that I don't understand. I know there's some injury stuff, but like...
Yeah, not really. They don't have the injury. I mean, Devon Hamilton's working his way back, but they don't have injury problems. I mean, Fatukasi went out, but Fatukasi's name hardly has been called.
Well, that's my thing.
Nothing going in the interior.
Fatukasi, in 2 years... There's been like 2 moments. Roy Robertson Harris, why'd you extend him? Because the only thing I saw happen last night was him yank Tyler Boyd's head off him. So that's what I put this on. Their defense, I understand their secondary and linebackers did not look good. It was not a banner day for Devin Lloyd. You wouldn't put it in the Hall of Fame at Devin Lloyd games. I get it. But if you're not going to get there against Cincinnati, other than Josh Allen, you got no shot. Because they're not a good offensive line.
Brent, you mentioned physicality of this Jaguars defense. And it got me thinking because my perception prior to last night was that this is a team that tackles pretty well. At least I had thought so this season. But
they had for the most part.
Well, you look into the grades, and it seems like they've tackled in big spots. But throughout whole games, they haven't really gotten a lot of accolades on their tackling. As a matter of fact, again, according to PFF, which I know some people disagree with based on their metrics, the Cincinnati game was their 4th best tackling effort for the whole game that we've seen this season, and it wasn't pretty.
Yeah, listen, I think part of this is why I said, what the hell was that? Like, some of this is unexpected. I do think they're a better tackling team than maybe the numbers even indicate. I don't think that's been an eyesore this year.
I mean, guys like Foye, Devin, we've seen them single one-on-one tackle guys like Bijan Robinson and other hard-to-catch backs. It's kind of shocking to me when you see what you see last night, which is Mixon just slipping through people like he's wearing butter.
Unbelievable.
And Kasey, like what you're saying about Roy Robertson Harris or Fatukasi or the interior as Hamilton works his way back, like I don't disagree with what they've been doing in the pass rush hasn't been enough. It plays into my inconsistency. Last week I thought the interior was the best they've been all year. And then they come back and they can't really get a push, to your point. But the one thing they have done very well is stop the run. They had one 100-yard rusher, and that actually still is the case. But they gave up a $156 to a Cincinnati team that really doesn't run it
in big spots. And
they, I mean, to give up that is about as out of character as you can get for this football team to give up that many rushing yards and get gashed in the rushing game. I thought they had like 3 good plays against the run all game. Like, that's out of character. I'll go back to inconsistency. The inconsistency of this football team is Devin Lloyd. He started the year a little bit slow. He gets the thumb injury, sits down, comes back, and he's like, whoa, we're raving about the guy, as we should have been. He's playing great. He went back to last year's Devin Lloyd last year, it looked like to me. I don't know what the numbers say, but it looked like he was lost. looked like he was lost a lot. Now, he ended up with like 11 tackles. And, I mean, it's hard to – you never know whose assignment it is. But it looked like their defense was confused, looked like he was out of place a bunch, looked like there were a lot of, like, wide eyes.
And Doug said the communication has to be better on defense, so clearly there were issues last night.
Tyson Campbell is every time he comes back, he doesn't look good, and maybe he just needs to get back in the flow. I don't think that's an easy thing for an athlete, but he didn't look good last night.
Did not look good.
It was really not good.
And, I mean, you hope your bad doesn't look like that when you're a really good player. He's a really good player. And his bad looked bad. Man.
And by the way, he wasn't covering slouches last night either, Case.
I get it. I was just going to say, Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase. I get that. But, like, if we believe Tyson is a really good player, I think. I mean,
knocking on the door of elite, yeah.
You can't do that.
No, you can't. That's my point. You cannot do that.
Now, if he's not fully healthy, that's one thing he shouldn't be on the field then. Because, I mean, if it is going to look like that, that's not good.
It's a liability.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't want to be a liability. I mean, listen, Chase is fantastic. I hated the line in this game. I said it all yesterday. This didn't make any sense to me.
I listened to you, Brent.
Yeah, you should have told someone else, Brent.
They have a lot of good players in Cincinnati. Now, what I did not predict is 32 out of 37 from Jake Browning. And, what usually happens is they'll pick you apart or they'll make a play and you'll be like, what the hell? That was so easy. And then you make an adjustment and figure it out. The Jags never had an answer. They never answered the whole night.
I don't think Jake Browning picked the Jags apart, though.
He went 32 of 37 for 354, man. His air yards over 10. He was perfect, 7 for 7 over 10 yards.
He had a couple of big throws, one on 3rd and 1 that was ridiculous, or 3rd and 2 that was just insanity.
The throw over Trayvon was dotted, too.
The vast majority of the throws, more than 20 of those completions, were little dink and dunks right at the line.
They were, but they set up the other stuff.
They did.
And when he did
Absolutely.
the other, listen, I thought Zach Taylor was really good. This is a good night for Mom and Dad Taylor. Because Press Taylor was good most of the night.
Yeah, both offenses.
I give you that.
I mean, that's who had the best night.
The Taylors.
The Taylors had the best.
Shout out to Taylor family.
Can we talk about Ridley for a second,
Swift
too?
For once.
Oh,
no.
We haven't mentioned Calvin Ridley yet, and I thought Ridley, it was like a positive and negative for him. Positive in that you see the growth continue on the involvement. They're giving him design runs. They're putting him in motion. They've got him moving all over the field. But then the letdown comes when you still don't see the production really tick up.
Guys, to me, I keep throwing this out there, right? Physical, inconsistent. They don't check those boxes, and maybe both go hand in hand. I don't know. But Ridley's a perfect example of this. He's a talented player. He's a good football player. He's inconsistent as hell. Like, he makes a play, then he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't get it. I can't figure him out right now.
The one, he could not see the ball because he had two hands in his face, but that's a different story.
I don't know if that was interference, by the way.
I don't think it's illegal.
You have the right to go get the football, Kasey, and he was falling back into the defender. I know it looks awful in slow motion.
I didn't blame the ref. I'm just saying physically he couldn't see it.
It's actually like it's a 300 IQ play if you think about it. Like
if that's not a foul, you need to be just throwing your hands on top of everybody's face mask.
Yeah,
because I don't think he saw the football.
No, he didn't. He covered the eye part. The eye part.
So, yeah, I get it. Didn't look great.
But also, Ridley as a receiver, especially as like a top-notch, near elite receiver, needs to know he can't just fall backwards and down. He's got to put his body between the defender and the ball.
That's fair. But, I mean, I will say it doesn't count. I understand what I'm about to say. Did not count as a play. He made the play that you needed right there that you could have won the game with. I understand somebody held or supposedly, but that was a solid play that he made that he didn't really.
Yeah, I know.
But the inconsistent is you're right. That's exactly what we just described.
But you've got to make the play at the end of the half. You've got to help. Now, listen, Trevor fumbled for some reason. That's on him. But it almost turned into a great play by Trevor Lawrence. And you make a play there, it's 3 points. You make the play, it's 3 points. He cost 7 points, well, actually 4. The Houston game was a touchdown. Listen, guys make plays and they don't. Not everybody makes every play. But the plays that some of the guys at Jags aren't making seem massive, even on the offensive side of things. Zay Jones had, I think it ended up being a tip ball slightly on a 3rd and 4 early. The line continues to not be able to block on a 3rd and 1 right out of the gates. McManus misses his field goal. Ridley misses that opportunity. Trevor, I'll put blame on him there too because he fumbled it. I don't think it was that bad of a snap. He should have been able to handle that. And you don't get points. You're leaving points. And in a shootout, that ended up being the difference. Now, listen, this blame is on the defense. I get it. But also, you're trying to win football games. There's various ways to do it. And the Jags actually got lucky in a spot. I mean, Parker Washington never should have caught that ball for a touchdown.
Yeah.
That should have been a pick. That was a terrible throw by Trevor. Terrible decision.
He kind of picked it off from the defender.
He did. So I just – inconsistency, guys. You wonder why the Jags just can't get right there, and it's a bit of inconsistency. Whether the defense just goes away, San Francisco, Houston, now this one. Whether the plays are continuously not made. Pittsburgh fumbles, Buffalo fumbles where you could have put the ball away. More instances yesterday. McManus now has missed kicks and losses, and he's been so good elsewhere. I mean, you hate to fault the guy, but that was a big moment. You got to make the kick. It's 48 yards, and he didn't get it done. So the Jags just aren't making the plays. And then the surprise for me is outside of Josh Allen. I was just waiting. I was like, okay, this defense sucks today. But somebody's going to make a play right here on Monday Night Football with this home crowd out of its mind and going to steal the win anyway, even with Trevor down. And they couldn't do it. Like, it never happened. I couldn't believe that it never happened. Like, the kind of the MO of this football team the last 2 years has been to make a play when it matters, even if you didn't make them all game.
Yeah, like a strip sack or interception, forced fumble, something like that, yeah.
Or stop on 3rd and 10.
Yeah.
Just a play. I'm with you,
Like
Brent.
a play.
So
they really hardly made a play on defense yesterday.
Yeah, outside
of Josh Allen. It was really bad.
Who can't do anymore.
We know
Hey,
that.
shout out to that half sack, by the way. They refunded. Because
Oh,
they got a half.
What happened? Who did?
Hard Rock.
No, wait, who got a half?
Trayvon on the first
and
play.
Josh on the first play had a half sack. That was their over-under.
Yeah, so I had over a half on Trayvon. They refunded, which was good because I lost some other things along the way.
Anytime touchdown for Evan Ingram. By the way, that guy.
It finally happened.
That guy is the epitome of consistent.
I will say this. You want a silver lining? The fact is, you lose a guy like Christian Kirk, and it seems like it's going to be a massive loss. And I'm sure there's more to talk about when we get to that part, what you lose with these injuries. But deep enough on the Jaguars offense that you can still operate without your leading receiver. That's pretty impressive. Not a lot of teams can do the same.
Yeah, but you need your quarterback.
Why you got to ruin it, Fred?
And right now, listen, I want to talk more about the offense because the offense is more banged up than just Christian Kirk and Trevor Lawrence. We'll get into that. But also, this comes at a horrible time. And you know why? Because Trevor was cooking. The last 3 weeks, Trevor's been awesome overall. And that's where this offense was elevating to. And now a big step back because of injury. We'll talk more about the offense, the injury impact, including Kirk. And can this football team make the playoffs with some of the adversity they are now facing? We're live at Sneakers in Jax Beach. Jags Report live tonight at 7 o'clock. 904-362-9901. Phones open. Text line always open. Get it out, folks. 904-362-9901.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
I'm Action News Jax First Alert meteorologist Trevor Gibbs. Cooler this morning, 40s and 50s for temperatures, rising to near 65 today under partly cloudy skies, into the low and mid 40s for early tomorrow morning with mostly sunny and breezy weather for Wednesday. High temperatures struggling to get out of the 50s, and then the coldest night this week, early Thursday morning, temperatures in the upper 30s. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Trevor Gibbs.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Don't miss Beard's incredible Christmas sale, where everything is 43% off through Christmas Eve.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's Twin Tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it. Have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Connecticut K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut Premier softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
The 12 Days of Christmas is back and better than ever at Best Bet Jacksonville. From December 12th to the 23rd, we're lighting up the tables with the much-anticipated 12 Days of Christmas High Hands and giving away over $275,000 in cash. The excitement grows each day, starting at $1,200 and climbing up to $2,300, and the chance to set sail on a World Poker Tour cruise. Don't miss out on the action. Explore all our December promotions at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com, your destination for the best poker action this holiday season.
As you set up that budget for 2024 to look at the home improvement list, ask yourself, how much is your old AC unit worth? Bolt City Heating and Air is bringing back its annual buyback program. You get up to $1,200 for your old AC unit when you purchase a new Carrier unit with Bolt City Heating and Air. BoltCityAC.com. Let Bolt City keep your family at the right temperature and help make it a comfortable start to 2024. Bolt City Heating and Air, the AC place I use, locally owned and operated. BoltCityAC.com.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity. The future of college football is now, and our primary goal is to position the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl and Jacksonville to be prepared for a potential college football expansion. And we need you, our local business leaders, to join our team and showcase that Jacksonville supports college football. Gator Bowl Sports has opportunities for all companies, whether you have 5 employees or 5,000. I would love to meet you and talk about our future. If you'd like to learn more, contact me at 904-798-1700.
Just like those little holiday snow globes, you better get ready to shake up the season because Toyotathon is on at Arlington Toyota. Right now at Arlington, get financing as low as 2.99% on 10 new Toyota models. And Arlington has more than 500 new Toyotas available. Plus, every new Toyota purchase comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty. Toyotathon is on at Arlington, so shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online 24/7 at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Toyotathon for details.
Jacksonville is a great place to live. And if you love where you live, you should invest in it. That's why more and more people bank with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. We invest every penny back into North Florida, backing the very best small businesses, nonprofits, and of course the family home. Why put your money with some big out-of-state bank when you can invest in where you love to live? One-to-One Financial. We're your hometown credit union. Sign up today at one-to-one-fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
You don't even like your quarterback.
Kasey Kuhrts.
You don't even like your team.
And Aaron Schachter.
I don't even like myself, guys. Do you know me?
On Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
All right, can we set the record straight for once on this dumb conversation about the golf cart? Is that all right? You've seen this?
I'm lost.
Well, Twitter and everyone was exploding last night because Trevor had to walk to the locker room.
Oh, I know what we're talking about. Okay. And they're saying the walk was too long. He hurt himself even more.
Yeah, well, and so people are like, get him a golf cart.
Yeah,
like, you don't have golf carts in Florida? And I just watched this whole rant by
We're like the country's capital of golf karting. What are they talking about?
Cowherder. Clown. And, I mean, guys, you know how this works. Players want to walk off the field on their own. Like, they don't want the cart. Like, that's a big thing to players. And that has happened for years and years. And so, and what people missed here is there was a cart that drove out of the tunnel behind the Jags bench to go get Trevor. And he turned it down. Like, it came out. He had already turned it down once they found out he was structurally okay. So, can we put to bed that? Or do you guys think it's a big deal?
It's kind of annoying to me, if I'm being real.
That he had to walk?
That he chose to walk. What are you doing, Trev?
Kirk did the same thing.
Enough, guys.
You just hop on.
Enough. Just get on the cart.
I'm okay with it, but it's kind of a thing, Kasey, right? I mean,
time out. Why are you okay with it?
Like, I'm okay with you if they were to jump on the cart, but I understand why they don't want to get on the cart.
Well, because they don't like how it looks, but the reality is, if you're not good enough to get in the game, get off the leg.
I agree with this.
I mean, that's fine, but saying that the golf cart wasn't available, first of all, is factually wrong. It was there. I saw it drive behind the bench.
Tell him, Brent.
And saying that they just chose not to bring him to the lot, like painting that picture. I mean, there were some funny things about it, too. Like, there was some stuff that came up today. It's like, here's the image of Trevor walking to the hospital today. I mean, they had some fun with it. But, did you hear the Cowherts rant?
No.
Like, this clown was like, this is why the Eagles are good.
Because they have golf carts for everybody. I'm on with them.
Yes. He's like, this is why you signed back with your workplace.
Case, you want to make Aaron a happy employee? Get me a golf cart for work. I'm good.
Amen, brother. I'll try to get one up here right now.
Thank you.
Gosh. Make me a happy appointment. Happy employee. Just go get me some, nothing but cakes, okay? If I don't have some of that every month, I'm never resigning again.
I'll take
nothing
the golf
but
cart.
cakes. There it is. You'll take the golf cart. Yeah, the studio is pretty big. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kuhrts. The Jaguars lose 34-31. I've hesitated to say this, guys, on social media.
Okay.
The last, I don't know, now it's 15 hours.
Strap in, Case. Hot take from Brent.
I'm ready. Strapped into my cart.
But remember when, the Jags would play on primetime and it would be a snoozer of a game? This actually had a lot of high entertainment value to it.
Hey, look, as someone who's not married to the team's record, I thought it was a great game last night.
You're not alone. That's my point. That was kind of the conversation around the country. It's this game's pretty wild.
That was great.
And the last time they played on was against the Saints, remember? They looked like they might blow them out 24-24, ends up being 31-24. They actually been – I know Jags fans disgusted. This is why – don't put us in primetime again, or the NFL's not going to put us in primetime.
I saw someone say only early road games from now on.
Actually, duds of games on primetime this year. The Jags have played two of the more entertaining games.
Look at that.
On primetime. And I know that doesn't win you any points and make you feel better. I'm just saying, that's kind of the what it is. I'll have people that aren't really tied into the Jags be like, hey, that was kind of a good game. Yeah, but it wasn't supposed to be, is the point.
It really wasn't.
Right. The 10.5-point favorite for the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, the Jags have a problem on offense, and it's not just Trevor Lawrence. That is the main problem. But, guys, they're hurt. Travis Etienne is still banged up, but he's playing. Cam Robinson went out last week. Now Walker Little's banged up with a hamstring. Jamal Agnew will have on the show tonight on Jags Report Live. He's still on IR. Zay Jones, I don't feel like he's back to full speed. He does not look as fast, although he did have a pretty nice game overall. And I might be wrong about that, but that one down the sideline, I was like, did he slow up? Was he not fast enough with the knee? Is it still bothering him a little bit? It entered my mind. Kirk obviously now is gone for quite some time.
If not the season.
Yeah, most likely the season with that surgery. I guess the timetable's usually about 8 weeks. And the Jags have some issues here now on offense. And their operation the last couple of weeks hasn't been smooth already. Parker Washington had a nice game, and I think he's worth a conversation in a bit, but he also had trouble lining up and knowing what to do at times.
I didn't feel like if you didn't have Parker Washington, you don't win, even though he did make a big play. I felt like you had enough tools on the field. You could still operate.
I think you can. I'm just saying that adds up now. This offense that was starting to find itself the last 3 weeks. I mean, really, they've put up, where are we at? 34, 24, and 31 points the last 3 weeks.
They're starting to cook.
They were really cooking, and Trevor was playing excellent. Trevor had a 125 rating. I think I just read somewhere that would have been on pace for one of his highest-rated game. He was at 258 and 2 touchdowns and ran for 1. He's starting to come to life before he gets hurt. So, I mean, how big of a problem, just from a functionality standpoint, these next couple weeks, are the injuries going to be? Is this going to hamper the offense from being what it could be, even maybe when Trevor does get back?
The reality is you hate to see momentum broken, right? It's really important to get good positive forward momentum and to lock onto it and keep it going. But I don't know, man. I just trust in Trevor when he comes back, even if he's a little cold or a little rusty. I don't believe it'll take too long to get back into the flow of things. The reality is, outside of Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram has been your most consistent offensive receiver on the team, and you still got all of Evan Ingram. Travis Etienne, you said he was banged up, but he's kind of banged up in a I can still play way. He had a decent game last night. Granted, there wasn't much run blocking happening, but scrimmage yards, he had a bunch. I think it was under 100, but he was trying to do his thing last night. So he's still a tool to use. Obviously, Calvin Ridley out there, as he gets hopefully more comfortable, you get to see more usage there. So there are things to do, but to your Trev point, I mean, even if you just kind of forget San Francisco happened, before that, 20 points, 31 points, 37 points, 25 points. They were absolutely alive on this team offensively. I don't think it just has to stop because you got C.J. Beathard under there. He showed last night he could find those guys. It's just the ball may be a little less accurate down the field sometimes.
I've got. Well, he can't make all the throws that Trevor can make,
Nope.
and he doesn't move as well. Though he moves okay, he doesn't move as well as Trevor. And it's just.
But credit to Press. Press was calling decent plays for him.
I think Press Taylor called a good game outside of a couple of 3rd and 1s. I don't know why. We'll talk about that. I don't know why they keep going back to that well. It makes no sense. I think Trevor set a record for QB sneaks. They went to the QB sneak. It worked. But Kasey, I wonder if from your point of view where you see this, because you've had a problem with the offensive line most of the year, and do the overall issues now on offense, even if when Trevor comes back, assuming that's sooner rather than later, is that a problem, or is maybe the bigger problem? Are they going to be blocked whether they're Are they going to be able to block whether they're healthy or not?
I don't know. They got to figure out. How to block the run right now, because if you're going to win without Trevor Lawrence, I know you said when he comes back, but you got to probably win one of these 2 games here. Right? Even though the back half of your schedule is easy, and you're going to do that by running the football. And I know Cleveland is what they are and Baltimore is what they are. You're going to have to try to get physical, but if they can't run the ball, I don't think anybody feels great about C.J. Beathard having to make all of the plays to win football games.
Oh, I don't either. I mean, I don't think so. I think they can't. The job of a backup quarterback, I've always said, if you get a couple of starts, win one of them. If you get 4 starts, win 2 of them. Like guys like Josh Dobbs, he did that, right? I know Dobbs looked awful in, I think it was his last performance, maybe last Monday night.
That was bad.
Yeah, it was really bad. But Kasey, overall, he went 2-2 in a 4-game stretch.
They called him the Pastronaut. They wrote articles. Are you kidding me, this guy?
But the reason Minnesota's still in it is because he did get a couple of wins. Like, he was able to do it. And that's all you ask right now of Beathard is to say, hey, just keep us in it. But you're going to have you said it, the run game's got to come along. Guys going to have to make plays and step up. The defense is going to have to be a hell of a lot better than what we saw it was yesterday. And they do have an advantageous situation playing the Cleveland Browns, you would think. But it's dangerous to think around the NFL.
Let me ask you this. With Walker Little and Cam Robinson out.
Well, we don't know if Walker's out.
Okay.
We don't know how severe that is.
I was assuming. You're right.
Because he was playing with it, and that might have been part of the problem on the play that he stepped on.
Fair enough.
Trevor.
We did see a little Blake Hansen in the game last night. Is there any point where anyone goes, Anton Harrison was a beast at left tackle in college. Maybe until we get healthy, it's time to move Anton over to the left and move up a guy like Cole Van Lanen or somebody to play right tackle.
It's an interesting thought, and my initial reaction is absolutely not. Because there's I just don't know if that's fair to him. And I also don't know if it makes you better. It's an unknown. You don't know if it makes you better. And why I say it's fair to him is he's learning this right tackle position. And overall, he's coming along playing that right tackle position.
Sure.
Do you want to then upset that growth by moving him over to left tackle?
No, you don't want to, but you also don't want C.J. Beathard to get decapitated.
Well, and I guess that's the answer, right? How much is it a necessity to be able to do it? Kasey, would you toy with the idea of Harrison going over to left tackle? Because, hey, by the way, guys, then you got to fill the right tackle spot.
But you have guys who have played right tackle on the run, maybe not to a starting caliber.
I don't love it, but also I don't love the other option if Walker Little cannot play for some reason. So,
like, would you rather Blake Hansen at left if Walker can't play and Anton at right, or Anton at left and Cole Van Lanen at right? Neither is great. But
I don't want any of this.
You got to decide which is more dangerous, I guess.
I want Blake Hansen playing. If somebody has to play, out of those two, I would pick Blake Hance. So wherever that ends, Anton Harrison is where it ends him.
But, hey, guys, by the way, maybe the biggest offensive line offender last night was Ezra Cleveland,
who had easily his worst game in Jacksonville, but an atrocious game by all measures.
I mean, I think he allowed 6 pressures. Like, you could notice him. He was on, there was a lot of grass around him and no players on a couple of occasions, which usually isn't a good sign for an offensive lineman.
No, it's not.
When you're turned around and looking for the guy you're supposed to be blocking, that's not good. And some of that might be the newness of the offense. I don't know. I mean, they've got to work through some of these things. They don't have a lot of time to figure it out. But we also saw a team last night, I think, that has had a little time to figure it out and looked pretty damn good once they figured it out. I mean, that team didn't look good the last couple of weeks with Joe Burrow out. But once they kind of absorbed it, figured things out a little bit, they looked really good last night. I mean, I don't care who was playing quarterback or not. The bottom line is Cincinnati looked awesome on offense.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I heard all these rumors about a leaky offensive line. Was none to be found.
It's not rumors. Burrow's hurt every other day.
They must love Jake Browning.
It's one of the things we predicted all year, by the way. If the Jags didn't clean up that offensive line a little bit, Trevor was in danger.
I said it how many times?
Yeah, I mean, we did. I mean, that was
this is
true.
your fault, Case.
I mean, sort of. I've kind of felt that way, but also I'm like, if I knew, others had to know. I'm not the smartest dude, right? So if I could sniff it out.
I see what you're saying. You weren't doing analytics to figure it out. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
904-362-9901. The text line, or give us a call. How you feeling about the Jags now at 8-4 on the season? We'll be back on ESPN 690.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
From selling out of the back of a car to one of the biggest outfitters in the Southeast, Baker Sports is quite the story. And on a daily basis, they are helping you write your story with a high school name or sports team across a uniform and so much more. And now it's a one-stop shop with Baker Sports, carrying Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour. They already make you look good, and now they can help you look better than ever. Baker Sports, custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team. And it's easy to do at bakersport.com.
This time of year, big box tool stores start to sell a whole bunch of not tools, from dancing Santas to plastic trees. At Northern Tool and Equipment, we'd rather sell you a 4-horsepower chainsaw fitted with a full chisel chain to cut down your own tree. And we have wood chippers come January, because mulch. We're cutting prices on power tools, automotive jacks and stands, and portable inverter generators this holiday season. Save in store or at northerntool.com.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted car. Call 1-800-775-5622. You'll receive the maximum tax deduction, and we provide fast, free pickup. Call 1-800-775-5622. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Call 1-800-775-5622. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
It was about a year ago we were car shopping at Nimnicht Buick GMC once again. This was our 6th car purchase from the Nimnicht family of dealerships. Is it time to car shop for you? NimnichtBuickGMC.com or the showroom off Phillips Highway. That's the place to go. Special financing on new GMC Sierras, Acadias, and Terrains. Or you can save thousands on a Buick SUV. Want a used vehicle? Nimnicht Buick GMC is the #1 Car Bravo dealer in the Southeast. Visit off Phillips Highway or just go to NimnichtBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Introducing Pelicano by Redboat Tours. Get ready for the ultimate tour experience. Smooth, quiet, and oh so comfortable. Our brand new custom built boat is fast, spacious, and handicap accessible. And here's the kicker, it comes with a killer DS18 sound system and a dance floor. Pelicano is perfect for weddings, office parties, neighborhood gatherings, family reunions, and kids' birthday parties. Don't miss out. Visit redboattours.com to book your unforgettable sightseeing tour aboard Pelicano today. Redboat Tours, where every journey is a celebration.
Denise is a Pilates instructor and a small business owner who built her own studio, so I guess that means she's kind of a real estate mogul too.
And don't forget, a mom as well.
And at Community First, we get that. And we get you. We're here to help you live your best life by providing the financial services you need with low fees, convenience, and local decision making.
So just be yourself.
At Community First and on the go. Learn more at communityfirstfl.org. Member NCUA.
As you set up that budget for 2024 to look at the home improvement list, ask yourself, how much is your old AC unit worth? Bolt City Heating and Air is bringing back its annual buyback program. You get up to $1,200 for your old AC unit when you purchase a new Carrier unit with Bolt City Heating and Air. BoltCityAC.com. Let Bolt City keep your family at the right temperature and help make it a comfortable start to 2024. Bolt City Heating and Air, the AC place I use, locally owned and operated. BoltCityAC.com.
The Salvation Army of Northeast Florida is hosting its 4th annual telethon in support of the nationwide Red Kettle campaign. The Salvation Army has been serving Northeast Florida since 1981, providing food, clothing, shelter, and services to our local neighbors in need. Tune in to Action News Jax Thursday, December 7th from 6:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. to help us do the most good. All donations will go towards helping local children and families have a merrier and brighter Christmas season. Call 1-800-963-6061 to make your pledge.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jax on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at BrentASJax. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690.
Hey, we're hanging out at Sneakers in Jax Beach. Jamal Agnew will join us tonight. Jags Report Live will break down all the different injuries, how it impacts the football team. That's what we're kind of doing right now as well. And it will be a constant conversation. Brent Martineau along with Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kuhrts. We always like to have you involved in the conversation. Plenty of comments on social media. 904-362-9901 is the number. And Aaron gets some texts in as well, don't you?
Yeah, unfortunately, not everyone leaves their name, so I apologize if I can't credit you with your question. But here's the first one we got. Says, good morning. Seems like Cincy was playing their offense last night straight off the film from the Texans game where our defense couldn't stop Stroud running all over most of the game either. Thoughts, please.
Yeah, I don't understand that as much. I mean, I didn't really think Browning beat the Jags with his legs. I think they got the ball out of his hands and guys were open and people sat down in their zone. Like, he just picked apart the zone that the Jaguars were in for the most part, then made the big play, obviously, over Tyson Campbell. I mean, he did have a sneak, and then he had the one scramble, I think, on 3rd down later in the game. But, I mean, I felt like Stroud was way more on the run than Browning.
Me too. Next one is ESPN Analytics has our team's run block and pass block success rates near the bottom of the NFL. On defense, we pretty well run stop, but awful pass rush win rate, and we don't have a single player on either side on any of the leaderboards for either category. When is change going to happen? This has been a consistent problem with 2017 being the exception. The defense looked like a, can't say that. Let's just say it looked bad. Let's just say it didn't look great.
Yeah, listen, the league is about winning one-on-one battles. The Jaguars, obviously, when you get kind of blown up in the trenches, you're not doing that. But there are a lot of teams that have offensive line issues. Like, that's just a common thing around the league. I think someone said recently, like, even 3rd downs around the league are down, like the 3rd and short situations in terms of the execution of those plays. So I don't know if the Jags are that different. And by the way, it's not that fixable. Like, you are who you are. You've got to just play better right now. Like, the answer for the Jags in those spots for those questions is not like, hey, let's go have a special draft in December or trade deadline, let's try to get a new one, or just go pick people that aren't on rosters up. Like, that ain't changing it. The only way to change it is to play better, guys.
Yeah, very tough loss, but I love my team and stand by them. They work hard. They're good people. We suffered some impactful injuries, some errors, and an off night for a few guys. Holding a call at the end of the game that probably shouldn't have been called. Onward from Teresa, she says.
Well, I think here's the deal. That's a nice statement, and it's a disappointing 24 hours or so, but the season is not done. I mean, the Jaguars, in many respects, kind of have everything still in front of them. I just don't know right now who's going to be along the side of each other, at least the next couple of weeks, because of these injuries. We'll update you on the injury front. We talk more about the Jags, of course, and what this game and loss means. How many will they win? How many do they need to win? What shakes out? 4 o'clock hour next on ESPN 690.
Why can't I just speak to an actual human being? I need a new bank.
Well, actually, at One-to-One Financial, communication is not only number one, it's one-to-one. When you call, you get to talk to a real live Jacksonville human, fast, and with someone who's truly concerned about your needs, your security, and finding solutions as a team.
Thank you.
Ready to break up with your bank? Find a real long-term banking relationship at One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Visit one-to-onefcu.org for more information on opening an account today.
Federally insured by NCUA.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry, this free examination, normally $199, is yours for free and good only through Sunday. For your free examination, call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Call now.
Celebrate December with Best Bet. We're giving away an incredible $275,000 in cash. Kickstart your holiday fun at Jacksonville and Orange Park with amazing promotions like $500 High Hand Fridays, 12 Days of Christmas, and the $40,000 Guaranteed GoPo 400 Tournament. We have you covered with fun, fast card games like 1-card and 3-card poker, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, and more. New to the game? No worries. Our friendly dealers are ready to teach you the ropes. For all the details, head over to bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Frank, you got to come see my new windows from American Window Products. They're beautiful and they keep the house so cool.
Oh, slow down, Jim.
No, Frank. American Window Products is having a sale right now, and you said you wanted a locally owned business with qualified products and professional installers. Well, American Window Products has all that and more.
More?
Yes, selection and great prices at American Window Products.
Whoa, what's that number?
731-2247, a family-owned business since 1981. Check them out at AmericanWindowProducts.com. Call them, Frank.
I'm calling American Window Products right now, Jim.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. Tune into our high-energy, multi-platform show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690 in a variety of video streaming platforms as well. As the seasons change, so do the sports topics. It's football season now, and we're bringing you all things sports weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. And you can tailgate with us at the Duval House for every Sunday home game this football season. Fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
I'm Christine Lisi. A high right ankle sprain, the diagnosis for Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Coach Doug Peterson did not yet completely rule him out against the Browns on Sunday. If Lawrence does not play, CJ Beathard starts. Jags lead the AFC South by a game on Houston and Indy and are the AFC's 4th seed. Money is not the reason linebacker Shaq Leonard chose to sign with Philadelphia, not Dallas, according to Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. He told 105.3 The Fan that Leonard wanted to go where he thought he had the best chance to play. Bringing in Leonard is a big positive for Philly, says ESPN NFL analyst Jeff Saturday.
He is a super intelligent football player. This guy reads and diagnoses offensive plays as well as anybody I've ever been around. His length in his arm, like the span that this guy plays with, balls over the middle, like his coverage ability, because he understands route concepts, where he is going to be a big plus.
Cowboys and Eagles meet Sunday with NFC East and playoff implications at stake. Giants quarterback Tommy DeVito starts versus the Packers Monday night. Jets releasing QB Tim Boyle and signing Brett Rippon from Seattle's practice squad. Boyle started New York's last 2 games.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends.
Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
We're getting a little punchy around here, people. It's been a lot in a row.
I would love to punch you guys.
Ow! It really hit me. Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and Kasey Kuhrts. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Well, I got more good news on the Trevor Lawrence front.
What do you mean more good news?
Well, I think it's good news. I think, guys, this is good news today. I don't care what anybody says. He could be gone for the year. The way that looked, there was good news last night when there was no fracture. Like, that was good news. Today from Doug Peterson, it's a high ankle sprain, and, he's not even willing to say he's out. So that's good news. And then this is a little less on the good news front, but I think it tells you a little bit.
Okay.
The media schedule just came out, and Trevor Lawrence is scheduled to talk to the media tomorrow.
And that's good because?
Well, because, he didn't talk to the media last night when he was injured after the game.
Right. And
if there was no plan to play, they'd bring C.J. Beathard up there. So, the fact that he's on the list and scheduled to speak, I think it has at least some significance that they really don't know what the situation is going to hold on Sunday.
Even in a best-case scenario, doesn't it feel like the game-timiest of game-time decisions?
Yeah, very much like that New Orleans game, right? And ironically, comes on a short week as well.
Yeah. The Jags really have no scheduling luck this year.
Yeah. But if they get lucky on this front, I don't care about the schedule, Mm-hmm. Let's get South Beach Gary on the line real quick.
Thank goodness.
What's happening, South Beach Gary?
Hey, guys, it's so ironic, the fact that, Tua has the concussions and everyone said he should retire, and every other quarterback's going down.
More Tua talk.
Well, you got to talk about the best when the best is out there, I mean. But two things, Brent. Why is this team so miserable they can't win at home? And you touched on it earlier. The Christian Walker pulled hamstring. How much, with him being compromised, how much did that affect the play? Will we ever know about that? I'll hang up and listen.
Christian Walker injury, you got an update?
Yeah, talk about Walker a little. Instead of Christian Kirk, who also got hurt. I knew what he was doing there. But I think he's asking about the hamstring of Walker Little. It apparently got hurt before that play. We all assumed that they got hurt on the same play because an announcement in the press box came out about the injury and obviously questionable ankle for Trevor, but at the same time came out hamstring questionable for Walker Little. And Doug said today that it happened prior to that snap. Now, people are going to blame Walker Little for that. and maybe there is some blame for Walker Little. But there's also some blame for Parker Washington on that play because, again, an inexperienced player was indecisive in his route. He admitted this after the game. He took some blame for it because he was indecisive. Doug Peterson kind of echoed that today, and that's why Trevor pulled the ball down. Now, listen, I'm not sitting here blaming Parker Washington for Trevor's injury. It's the way it goes sometimes. And it's also the way it goes when you have younger guys playing. I mean, they had to burn a timeout earlier in the half because they were trying to get him in the right spot.
That's right.
That's the domino effect of injuries. That's the domino effect of Christian Kirk being injured. And Parker Washington did some tremendous things yesterday in that game. So it's a little bit of both. As for the home thing, I can't figure it out. I don't know. It doesn't mean I don't want the Jaguars to play a home playoff game. They've played two really good teams in San Francisco and Kansas City at home. Houston's way better than we thought, and Cincinnati, I mean, there's no excuse, in my opinion, for the Houston and Cincinnati losses at home. There really isn't. So I don't have an answer. Like, it's inexplicable. The fans were ready. You'd think the Jags would be ready. It's Monday night. I think everybody lost sight that this can be sports, and guess what? The Bengals were ready too. Like, they liked the fact that it was Monday night as well. Didn't have to be a home game. They liked it too, and they have a lot of good players on their football team, not just Joe Burrow. Like, they are just not a Joe Burrow team. And they beat the Jags. I mean, it's a big topic because they're 2-4 at Everbank Stadium. I don't get it. I don't understand. And usually it's a formula to not make the postseason. Oddly enough, the Jaguars are 4-1 in the division, which usually is an indicator of if you're going to make the playoffs, and they're undefeated on the road. So they have offset their home woes by being perfect on the road to this point. But I still want the Jaguars to play at home in January, Aaron and Kasey. I think it's still a helper.
Well, it's because you know that this is coincidence. This isn't like a thing that's happening that the Jags now have to do something to fix. This is just situational where they're losing home games right now, and you know that that's a streak that will eventually end, and the hope is it ends in time for the playoffs.
Kasey, can you put your finger on it?
No. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I know you just said you'd rather than playing home games in January, but at this point, I don't know if I'd rather.
I think what's more interesting is the defense has struggled at home. Like, 3 of these games, the defense has been bad 3 games this year, and it's all been at home. Did you hear the Doug Peterson comments last night that everybody got all, like, up in arms about?
I did.
I really think that was overblown. I don't think Doug was blaming the fans.
No,
Is that your interpretation?
No, but
well, both can be true. The fans can be at fault for being loud at the wrong points, and also
that's not the wrong point.
You can be appreciative of the fan engagement.
In every football game, the defense, when they're on the field, they're as loud as hell, so it makes it tough for the offense.
Stop it! You ever been to a basketball game? You see the home crowd shouting and screaming during a home team free throw. There are rights and wrong points.
No, you're absolutely wrong here. Like, they're not right or wrong points. Get your ass up, be loud. Like, that's what happens at football games. And he wasn't saying it about the fans. He was saying about his own football team, learn to communicate better.
Yeah, he was. No, he was. I mean, it was. I don't understand why it's not a debate. Like, he wasn't saying my team isn't to blame. It's the fans who are to blame. But also, the fans were the reason. Now, granted, they were doing something he wanted them to do, but it just, at that point, hurt more than it helped.
I guess. I think the Jags they got schooled. Their defense just got whooped.
It was ugly.
Tis not good.
Some of that's you know what surprised me a little bit, and I don't really talk about, like, run gap defense very often here on the show.
What you got?
But I think the Jags have been so good against the run. I think I might have mentioned this in the last couple of weeks. It's like you're not worried about that. There have been times over the years, especially when like last year even at times, that when you have a newer defense and they're learning to play together, that communication gets goofed up and they don't fit their run gaps. And then you have these big chunks of yardage. That was like the first time this year I remember that happening. Like Bijan Robinson ran for over 100, but a lot of that stuff was on the outside, and he was just really good.
Yeah, he was
when
also
he got the ball,
pinballing all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was different. This was like this dude Brown was just gashing the Jags. He had wide open lanes, and at the end of the day, they didn't stop the run well enough, and they didn't force enough 3rd and longs, and they don't get the win. What else did Doug have to say today, Aaron, as we update everybody? I think everybody knows by now. They're seeing it all over the place. Trevor Lawrence, it's a high ankle sprain. There no structural damage. It's very good news from that standpoint. See you in a couple of days. I just mentioned that he's going to talk to the media tomorrow. Doug did not rule him out for Sunday. He said he's not going to put him in a box and just not sure yet. The other thing they said is they're not bringing in another quarterback like Nick Foles at the moment or anybody else. C.J. Beathard will be the guy if he has to go to him. And he won't put Trevor out there if he doesn't feel like he's, can take care of himself and or if they figure he would risk further injury. Christian Kirk, groin injury with core muscle surgery, likely gone for the year unless they do something really special and see in Vegas, potential. And then Walker Little hamstring. Fatukasi ankle, Tyson Campbell in a quad, so that's something to keep an eye on. He didn't play well even coming back from injury. And then Tre Herndon. Who knew Tre Herndon being out would hurt so much? That seemed like a big thing.
Especially last night when they're so receiver-heavy in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So that's the latest. But
Did you mention Cisco?
Cisco came back in. I asked him in the locker room, and he said he was fine. So, it was a shoulder, then he came back in. So I think the assumption there is he's cool.
All right. A couple of questions. Obviously, Trevor was the big focus of Doug's press conference today. And a couple of people asked some questions. One of those questions that I thought was interesting was, is this the kind of injury where Trevor can hit the field not 100%, like on the mend on the way back? If Trevor's 80, 85%, is it worth putting him out there in an effort to win the game, get to the playoffs, case it's cut 4?
I want to make sure that Trevor's 100%. Before I put him or any player back on the field. It's just a matter of their, as a player too, the tolerance that they can withstand with any injury. And you just don't want to risk if the player is not in any harm or could risk further damage to the area, then you have to consider it. But definitely don't want to risk further injury.
I feel like I heard 3 answers there. So first I heard Doug wants to make sure Trev is mended. Not on the mend, but mended. He wants him 100%. Okay, full stop. Then I hear it's also up to the player's tolerance. And we saw a little bit of this last year with Patrick Mahomes, who maybe under regular circumstances might have taken the rest of the game or a couple of weeks to heal up. Instead, was out there hobbling around on his foot because he has high pain tolerance, he says, and he was all right. And then the third part of that answer is actually part of the discussion around Aaron Rodgers right now, which is what is the damage that can be done if you hurt yourself even more? In this case, with the sprained ankle, it's not like you're going to tear the ankle off the leg. And so I guess the implication there is if Trev can stand the pain, then he'll be able to put himself in the game. Is that what you got from it, Brent?
Yeah, I look at this as like 3 different responsibilities for what you just said. One is, first, nobody's 100%. So I get what Doug was saying. But, Trevor's not going – if he plays again this year, I don't think he'll be at 100%. But I think that's a Doug decision. Does he feel comfortable with him being able to protect himself? Does he feel comfortable that he can operate the offense? Does he limit the offense? And is it worth CJ playing instead? I think the second one from a tolerance standpoint is obviously up to the player. Like, what do they feel? They always want to play. But do they feel comfortable with whatever injury and playing with pain? I think Trevor's shown that before, and most football players do. I think the last one that you were talking about is really up to the doctors. Like, can he risk further injury, right?
Yeah, is there long-term damage here?
Yeah, and again, all these things are collaborative efforts, but I would say on a high ankle sprain, and I'm not a doctor, that I don't think you're risking like a long-term injury with a high ankle sprain. It just becomes, can you tape it up? Can you move on it? The comfort level of it, all those things. So, I get what Doug's saying, and I do think they're kind of 3 different deals. And based off his first part of that, Aaron, I have no idea how they would play him on Sunday.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't sound likely they're marching him out there in days. But, again, he hasn't committed to a no. But there was somewhat of a follow-up to this question, and it's been noticed, not just by the person who asked it, but by lots of folks, But Trevor's been pretty good at avoiding serious injury through his career. I think he's got 46 straight games he's started. I believe that's tied for the third highest active streak with Pat Mahomes. You got Herbert and Josh Allen in front of him by a lot. But that being said, 46 straight games Trevor has started. This would be the first one he'd miss. The question was asked, do you think Trevor's just good at avoiding serious injury, or is this luck? It's cut 5.
Look, sometimes it's just luck, just being in the right place at the right time, picking his feet up at the right time. He's obviously he's very, he's long, he's tall, and very flexible as you imagine. The one last night looked worse than it really was. Very fortunate there, but he seems to have a little bit of a knack, but I just think that for the most part, just been fortunate, to not have a serious injury than what they are.
And granted, you don't necessarily base anything off that answer, but not great to hear. It's just been luck, because you wonder when luck runs out, Brent.
Well, I mean, listen, this game is a lot luck. I mean, it really is, especially at the quarterback. But I think offensive line and quarterback especially are very lucky or unlucky things. I mean, the feet are everywhere. You got guys diving at legs, and you've got a pile of grown men landing around each other. And I think it is a lot luck. Now, you can get out of harm's way. You can block better and have a good offensive line.
It's a good
right?
concept. I like that.
You can do those things. But Trevor has shown the ability. I think it's not about luck as much. Sure, it's great to be a little lucky. Detroit last year, lucky. Ironically, again, this came on the same date last year. Detroit, December 4th. Cincinnati, December 4th. And he might have survived major injury on both occasions. But I also think, like, the knee stuff and other things speaks to some of his toughness as well. But, yeah, I mean, it's durability is kind of a luck, but also a people-by-people thing.
Yeah.
Tom Brady played a lot of years in the NFL because he was durable.
Very durable.
And he had the one knee injury and missed a year, and that's about it. Brett Favre, I felt like Brett Favre, his uniform was dirty all the time, and he looked like he took hits and all this stuff, and he played like 300 games in a row or something. So that's in this game, there is an element of luck. And, I mean, some people just are more susceptible to injury, too. So maybe that's it for Trevor, and God bless him if it is, because 46 in a row is a big number. Like, that's an important number. That's part of it. People are questioning a little bit Joe Burrow. Herbert's been banged up, like, for the last 2 years. Lamar Jackson's been banged up the last 2 seasons, not including this one. So, like, there are a lot of examples of guys that haven't been able to stay healthy. Trevor has found a way to get back on the field, and there's a big difference when he's not on it.
Well, you mentioned one of the ways that a quarterback can have a little more help staying healthier than some of these other quarterbacks is getting some blocking up front in the offensive line. And so the question had to be asked to Doug at the press conference. We've been talking all season about the offensive line, whether it's the musical chairs that's had to be done because of injuries or because of things like this. So how did you feel the offensive line performed last night? Case, it's cut 8.
There's always room for improvement, right? I mean, I thought there were some good things in the run game early, and then we got sort of stymied as the game went on. We got to continue to try to push the line of scrimmage, right? Play on their side of the ball. We got stalemated a couple times, and so those are all things that we got to continue to work on. But I thought overall decent, but can definitely improve.
Can definitely improve, Brent.
Yeah, I think we would all agree. I mean, listen, the offensive line has been, go back to my word, inconsistent.
But it didn't
go back to my other word, physical.
But
he's not going to throw him under the bus.
That's what I'm saying. You've now heard Doug kind of point out some things, and he's good when he throws people under the bus. It's more like a soft toss. But you don't really hear him do it about the offensive line almost ever.
Yeah, I think Doug is pretty smart and understands the game so much that we don't want to look at it from this lens. And there are a lot of things like this, I think, around this Jaguars team, especially right now, that Doug knows that if you're going to keep putting different people in, there are going to be problems. And right now, they have had a bunch of combinations this year due to injury, suspension, other things. Walker Little's just getting his feet back under him left. tackle. Now he's a little banged up and playing hurt. Ezra Cleveland comes over. Now he's trying to get comfortable. And maybe they know they've got a weakness at center, or he's just not where he needs to be. And they know they have a rookie right tackle. Like, I think he's seen enough football, and I think he's seen enough of this offensive line to know that they are not going to be the San Francisco or Philadelphia Eagles offensive line this year. They're just not ready for it. So why throw them under the bus, I guess?
Yeah.
It is what it is. And you've got to work around it and hope that they play better. That's a big hope.
Case, is this an area you have to address in the offseason this year after not addressing it last year?
Well, they're going to have to do something because what are you doing with Cam Robinson? That's a lot of money.
Brandon Sheriff, I think.
Brandon Sheriff. So, like, they will be forced to do something because they have guys that are either expiring or potentially need to be restructured and or traded or released. So, yeah, I mean,
I'm talking about significant, impactful moves.
I mean, it's going to be significant if Sheriff's gone and Cam's gone. I mean, that's significant because you're losing two of your starters. And then Walker Little, what's the deal there? Ezra Cleveland, maybe has one more year, but you have to start thinking about that. Luke Fortner, who continues to get bad grades from PFF, like, what are you doing there? So, yeah, I think they're going to have to do some stuff, no doubt.
Well, I mean, you said Ezra Cleveland, we'll see how he plays. This is a tryout because his contract does come up, but they would like to see him long-term if things work out. He just didn't play that well yesterday, it looked like. And I mean, the bottom line is it looks like they have four pieces of their offensive line already here. Now, do they change their mind on that? Maybe. But, like, they may try to upgrade guys. Maybe that's where they go in the draft. Maybe they try to get somebody in there free agency-wise. They're not going to pay big money in free agency. I think they're going to let Sheriff walk to get rid of a contract like that.
This is actually the point I'm asking about. To your point, Brent, if Walker Little is a piece they want to keep, if Ezra Cleveland is something that they had hoped worked out long-term, if Anton Harrison is your starting right tackle, and if you like Luke Fortner if you're the Jaguars, then you're really only talking about right guard. And quite frankly, he's been the best player on your team this year.
And you're talking about development too, right? I mean, Walker Little has not had a chance to settle in at any position. Can he get better and better? Can Harrison get better and better? Can
but how
Fortner
do you even
evaluate?
How do you even evaluate Walker Little if he's now playing on a dinged-up hamstring?
Yeah, well, because you know enough about Walker Little, right? I think if I was in Walker's camp, I'd just be like, hey, listen, I mean, I've been bounced all around. Once I settle in, I mean, I can play like I played the first month of the season. There's evidence that I can do that, right?
Do you think the team knows what they want to do with him already?
Yeah. I think the big mystery on this football team right now is Cam Robinson. Does he stay or go?
Because I don't believe the contract is up, but they do have an out. Obviously, they just signed him to the big extension.
Oh, yeah,
in 22.
it's not up, but they do have the out and save a lot of money.
Yeah.
So what do they decide to do? Because the more and more you look at it, when Cam's in there, it seems like this offensive line is better. And he's a good football player, I think.
Yeah.
But the other guys are draft and development guys. Like Fortner, are they going to give up on him? They're going to keep developing. He's only in year 2. Harrison's a rookie. Like, they made their bed with those guys. Like, now they have to get good play from them or admit that they were wrong.
Do you still have PFF up?
Yeah.
What's Fortner's grade, just in general?
Well, I would go ahead and prepare yourself for a little bit of disappointment before I pull up the page. I can tell you.
Or reality.
I can tell you a week or two ago, Case, when I was looking at it, his grades this year were actually worse than what his grades were last year, according to PFF.
And they were atrocious
And we know
right?
last year they were pretty bad. So in 2022, PFF had Fortner graded in the pass block at a 59.9. In 2023, they have that graded as a 59.4.
Okay.
In the run block last year, they had him graded at a 48.0.
Oh, my.
This year, that number is 42.3.
All right. Like, and I'm not the biggest PFF guy.
Unless they're telling you what you want to hear.
Well, no, I'm being just straight down the middle.
Let's hear it.
40 is awful.
42.3.
There's no scenario where you get a 40 in anything in pass. Not school, not in the school zone. You'll get pulled over going for. Like,
that's accurate.
There's no scenario where 40 passes the test. So what is happening?
Guys, I've asked this question before about the offensive line, and like there was I forget, it was a couple weeks ago. Should the Jags, like Cam Robinson was healthy at this time, and I said, well, wouldn't they be best right now for if a must-win game, right? If you were playing the Super Bowl right now, Cam Robinson, Cam Robinson, Ezra Cleveland, Tyler Shatley, Sheriff, and then Walker Little. so you don't have to go through some of the rookie pains. You take Fortner out, you give him a seat, you let him get stronger, all these things, whatever it is. You don't give up on him, but I'm telling you right now to win a game. Well, obviously Cam's out right now. So Walker, if you are they better off putting Tyler Shatley in at center? This guy that's played the position for like a decade.
Well, I will tell you, according to PFF, unless Tyler Shatley is rated as one worse than the worst player in the league, the answer is Shatley would be better.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not telling you that Tyler Shatley's like an all-pro, but he's a more physical presence, I think, because he's a grown man. I say this all the time, and it sounds weird, I know. But when you're 30 years old, you're physically mature way more than a 23-year-old guy. 24, is he 25?
25 and a half.
And, boy, he looks like a body looks younger than that, you know? And maybe that's an issue. Like, that could be the issue. He might just not be strong enough.
You know what we need? We need Meester back on the show so he can explain the difference. Like, why is this dude getting a 40 on PFF?
Yeah, that's a good call. Maybe
because again, and I know PFF ain't always right because I disagreed with him a fair amount of times. But like, did you say he's the second worst in the league according to PFF?
No, I said if Shatley had to be worse than the worst center in the league, because according to PFF, the worst center in the league is Luke Fortner. 39 out of 39.
That's insane. So like, somebody needs to explain somewhere what is happening. Because if I'm just at a loss for words.
Yeah, I mean,
is he the worst center in the league or not? And if not, why does PFF think he is?
Or why do the Jaguars think he's doing a good job?
But exactly, like there needs to be an answer somewhere because this ain't adding up. The math ain't mathing, Brent.
Sometimes there's a stubbornness, guys, right? You draft a guy, you want to play him, and some people believe you got to go through some of that mud to get where you want to go. Like
That's
get
fair
that,
sometimes, sure.
But
the mud is thick right now. It's been
the
long
mud's
time.
pretty thick, and these games are getting more and more important, and you have a guy that can play there. Like, I think you have to ask yourself, yeah, okay, it's a young guy we're trying to bring along, but this guy might be just a lot better right now. And, well, our franchise quarterback keeps getting dinged up, and we need a lot better right now there. So that might be a conversation they need to have. And I'm not putting this all on Luke Fortner, by the way. Everybody's taking a turn. I just watched Sheriff give up a sack.
Yeah.
And that guy's got the best resume of anybody.
Certainly this year, too.
Hey, tired of shopping those online dealers that overpromise and underdeliver? Nimnick Buick GMC is proud to introduce you to Car Bravo. Better way to shop used vehicles online with transparent pricing. Car Bravo doesn't matter what used vehicle you're looking for. They certify all makes and models. NimnickBuickGMC.com or go to the showroom off Phillips Highway. A lot of cars under $20,000 for used cars. The number one Car Bravo dealer in the Southeast region. Be ready for anything behind the wheel of a professional-grade GMC truck. I've got a GMC Sierra. Absolutely love it. Well, right now you can save thousands off a GMC Sierra 1500 Turbo Max. Plus, well-qualified buyers can enjoy rates as low as 0.9%. And don't forget about those mobile oil changes. NimnickBuickGMC.com if you're looking for one of those soon.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
I'm Action News Jack's First Alert meteorologist Trevor Gibbs. Cooler this morning, 40s and 50s for temperatures, rising to near 65 today under partly cloudy skies, into the low and mid 40s for early tomorrow morning with mostly sunny and breezy weather for Wednesday. High temperatures struggling to get out of the 50s, and then the coldest night this week, early Thursday morning, temperatures in the upper 30s. From the Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Trevor Gibbs.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Don't miss Beards' incredible Christmas sale, where everything is 43% off through Christmas Eve.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
It's old school card collecting with new school breaks. Davoli's House of Cards does it all. Missing a card from an old 1987 baseball top set? They probably have it. Want to join in on a live TikTok break with the hottest new cards? You can do it with Davoli's House of Cards. Stop on by, talk some sports, find your favorite cards for your kids or for you, like when you were a kid. From Trevor Lawrence rookies to Pokemon and more, Davoli's House of Cards on 210. And join their live breaks on TikTok at Davoli's House of Breaks.
Hello, Jackson. Jacksonville, this is Greg McGarity. The future of college football is now, and our primary goal is to position the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl and Jacksonville to be prepared for a potential college football expansion. And we need you, our local business leaders, to join our team and showcase that Jacksonville supports college football. Gator Bowl Sports has opportunities for all companies, whether you have 5 employees or 5,000. I would love to meet you and talk about our future. If you'd like to learn more, contact me at 904-798-1700.
Advisory services through Talon Private Wealth and SEC registered investment advisor. Florida license D056341.
On Guarding Your Nest Egg Radio, Mike Lester, founder of Talon Wealth, focuses on a key question many share. Do I have enough to retire?
For starters, we'll do the math for you. But to me, it's really more about lifestyle. I want to find out what's important to you. I want to find out what your expenses are. And then I'm going to give you a realistic expectation moving forward of how your money needs to be invested to accomplish your goals in retirement.
Get to know Mike at guardingyournestegg.com.
Time to hoop it up and swoop it up with the Ospreys. Men's and women's basketball season is here. They are off and running. UNFospreys.com for your season tickets. Plenty of options in the beautiful UNF Arena to watch a fun brand of hoops. In December alone, 7 home games between the men and the women. Season tickets, flex plans, premium seat, and suite options are available. Matthew Driscoll and the men off to a nice start. New women's coach Erica Lambert has her team playing tough. It's the busiest home slate in the D1 era. More than 30 games at UNF Arena. Go to UNFospreys.com.
Hey, this is Brian Middleton, and I know most people are under the impression that losing weight kills all things fun. Why? Because every meal plan, workout program, and diet they've tried before did. Here's Paige, owner of Awaken 180 Weight Loss, regarding your holiday festivities.
One of the big concerns that we get from a lot of people this time of year especially is, how am I going to have fun through the holidays, or tolerate my family through the holidays, or go to those company holiday parties without drinking? And on Awaken 180 Weight Loss, you don't have to worry about that, because you still can drink alcohol. We, of course, want you to drink responsibly, but our coaches will help you find drinks that you can still enjoy on Awaken 180 Weight Loss while seeing great weight loss results.
Thanks, Paige. For me, losing weight with Awaken 180 is a game changer. 60 pounds down in just 3 months. For the same results, get started today at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
At Community First, seeing members live their best lives is our best reward, but this one's pretty good too. We've been named Florida's Credit Union of the Year by the League of Southeastern Credit Unions and Affiliates. To see why and how we can help you, visit communityfirstfl.org, member NCUA.
It was about a year ago we were car shopping at Nimnicht Buick GMC once again. This was our 6th car purchase from the Nimnicht family of dealerships. Is it time to car shop for you? NimnichtBuickGMC.com or the showroom off Phillips Highway. That's the place to go. Special financing on new GMC Sierras, Acadias, and Terrains, or you can save thousands on a Buick SUV. Want a used vehicle? Nimnicht Buick GMC is the #1 car Bravo dealer in the Southeast. Visit off Phillips Highway or just go to NimnichtBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults.
Nothing is everything.
Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe.
Hey, welcome back to Sneakers in Jack's Beach. Jack's Report live tonight, 7 o'clock on Fox 30. A lot of Trevor Lawrence and injury discussion continues throughout the afternoon and the evening. You can watch a show on Fox 30, of course. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kuhrts, overtime with Kuhrts and Middleton coming up at 6
Yeah.
o'clock. You all right? You like this bet?
What you mean? This is BM15.
Not a bad Brent, it's a lifestyle.
Come on.
That is a
The Grammy winner here on ESPN 690 this year, BM15.
Really is the MVP, isn't it, Case?
Only thing that's cheered me up today, BM15.
By the way,
Come
Brent,
on.
I just ruined a grid for Case.
Yeah. Hey, actually, I'm not going to say that.
All right.
Change my mind. If you hesitate, don't go.
Yeah.
I don't want to get caught up in something that I don't want to be a part
You
of.
do have the dump
Very good.
But yeah, just let's move on.
Who is Chase Brown, by the way?
I have no idea.
6 rushes for 60 yards last night.
Oh, the
kid.
Bengals guy.
The kid.
I was like, I don't know. Is he on the grid?
You know what's
somewhere?
funny is I was talking to, who was it, Casey or somebody during yesterday's show in a commercial break
So it was me.
about
The only one here.
about the Bengals trotting out some of these younger kids to see what's
Oh,
up.
you did say that.
I
That's
did
right.
say that. He was one of these guys I was talking about.
Well, I guess you were spot on. Can we go check in with Aaron on his bets?
Oh, how'd that go?
Did Tank Bigsby score last night? Sounds like that one didn't hit.
Oh, boys, we had it. We had it rocking and rolling, man. I was so close last night. So much money on the line. I had wagered $15 on a 3-legger and $25 on a 5-legger.
How many legs in total hit?
Well, I'm trying to pull it up.
I don't know
as
if
I
any
talk
of
to
them
you.
did. Now that I think
That
Ingram
is not
did.
true. I had a
Ingram-
bunch of them hit in the 15-legger. I'm sorry, in the $25 3-legger. I had Jake Browning for over 1/2 interception.
Nope,
did not hit. I had Dearness Johnson though over 20.5 rushing yards.
Nope.
Oh, that didn't
He
hit
had
either.
5 carries for 4 yards.
I did though have Tank Bigsby for an anytime touchdown. All right, so we
That's tough.
throw that bet slip in the trash and we pivot over to the 5-leg parlay for $15 with the plus 1,500 odds. I had Josh Allen over a 1/2 sack. Bing. That's right.
Yeah, you got it.
I had Evan Ingram over 4.5 receptions.
Oh.
Bing. And coupled with the 4.5, I had Evan Ingram over 49.5 yards, 48.5 yards. I also had Calvin Ridley over 56.5 receiving yards. And then finally,
Really?
yeah, Trayvon Walker was supposed to be over a 1/2 sack.
I don't have a sound for push.
Yeah.
What would happen on the push there?
They
I
refunded.
cry. They did not refund me
They
on a,
refunded
on a-
singles.
on a
But if you-
3-leg, 5-leg parlay. They're not refunding.
So you lose that on a push if you had won all the rest?
Yes, sir.
No, I think if you would have hit the other, I think they would have refunded
It
you.
came
They
up as an
prorate it?
X.
Yours came up as an X?
That's what I thought I was just looking at.
Really?
They don't like me, Case.
That's interesting because mine refunded. And I was actually kind of shocked, to be real with
Brent,
you.
in a reaction to losing both of those parlays, I decided I needed to bet on something I knew absolutely nothing about. I've now
Soccer.
gone to
Soccer's a good
Championship Women's Handball, and we have a bet today on Norway, who is a minus 500 to win.
Why?
Well, how much did you put on it for minus 500?
$25.
That only
25
pays out
bucks.
cents. There's no
Literally,
way.
yes. There's nothing going. I just needed to win.
What if they lose?
Then I'm going to be mad.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh.
This
I hope they win.
stinks. I hate betting.
Then
I'm never
I'm
doing
gonna
it
be
again.
mad.
Can you even get an update on if they win? Like, where do you even find that?
Let me see if
I'm
I can
just
find
looking
that.
in the app. I mean, for all I know, they can lie to me. And I'm like, all right, I guess they lost.
Who's playing the handball?
Norway.
All right,
It's
a couple
Championship handball. Sorry, Brent.
a couple of things you said in
It's
there.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's
We gotta wait till
2:30
tomorrow.
p.m. tomorrow.
I needed to put some space between me and the loss.
You put the early bet in on the handball for
It was,
Norway.
yeah. Well, look, I had a hot tip.
What hot tip?
Well, the
it was
odds.
minus 500.
Yeah, that was
There's
the
no
that was the
tip.
The tip was the odds
The
were
tip
big.
would
Yeah.
have been on Agnola or whatever country this is. That would have been
No.
the tip.
No, you don't know about betting clearly because I saw the minus 500. I was like, oh, the team is probably going to win. So that was the hot tip.
You're unbelievable.
All right,
You're
Brent,
unbelievable.
continue.
You have problems.
So many.
By the way, your problems could have been solved a little bit. Calvin Ridley could have caught the one at the end of the first half. And
Oh, my
then,
gosh.
if they don't bring the other one back because of holding, like the Jags, you win and the Jags would have
Brent,
won
this
the game.
is what the app does to you because the whole end of the game, I'm like, I don't see a path to the spread or I don't see a path to this. Then I'm like rooting for overtime in hopes that in this exact order, Trayvon gets a sack that puts me in the green. And then because Trayvon is putting pressure on Browning on the next play, he throws the interception, we're in the money. Didn't happen.
That's actually good theory.
Didn't happen.
It didn't. It wasn't even close. He had no point through anything that was close to being intercepted.
Not even well, one, but yeah, no, you're right. It was pretty rough out there for the interception crowd.
I never at any point thought my Andre Cisco 2+ interceptions was going to hit. Let's put it that way. He almost didn't throw 2 incompletions, so I never really thought I had a shot.
That's a fair point.
Hey, that last play. Well, first of all, I think C.J. Beathard not only got them in field goal range.
He won the game.
He had a chance to win the game in regulation. They don't execute. They can't, he takes care of the football. They kick the field goal, right? At least at worst, you had to do that. But then they go down the field in overtime when they get it, and they get this play off at midfield, and he throws the bomb to Ridley, and they get it at the 2-yard line. They would have won the game most likely.
Most
right?
likely.
And then they gets called back on the hold. Was it a hold? You guys want to say yes. You're afraid, aren't you?
I'm not afraid.
I'm not afraid.
Did you think it was a hold?
I thought it was questionable.
I didn't think he held.
I did think it was a hold, but I thought it was questionable.
I think that there's a lot worse that doesn't get called. I think there's very similar that does get called.
I think he just kind of got caught with the defender kind of running past him while his arms were still under him. I don't think the intention was to hold the guy back, and I think once he realized he moved his arms out, but you kind of have to call it if you're hooking the dude.
I think the bigger travesty right there is that they called it.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, because one, it certainly is a part of the game where some things you let go, right? So there's that argument to be made. Did they miss some other calls? Sure, they always miss calls.
Yeah, they do.
But I actually think the reason why I think it was a hold is because both players turned to the official right after the play.
See,
if you watch it, obviously the Cincinnati guy's complaining.
Sure.
But Anton Harrison,
like,
as soon
am
as
I
he
in
does
trouble?
it, he's like, are they going to call? You know what I mean? Like, it's like a DB now. But a DB, after he makes a play, always looks for the flag.
Yeah. I just thought because the play was affected by the hold. The reality is that Beathard rolled out to that side.
Yeah.
He needed extra time to make the throw.
Which brought eyes to it.
Yes. And if Anton's not accidentally hooking the guy, does the defender get to CJ? Does it mess up the throw? I for all those reasons, I thought it was a hold.
Gosh, though, they were so close to somehow pulling that game out, even with injury. And if they were sitting here at 9-3, and I don't think we'd be getting too excited about the top seed, but that 9 wins would mean so much because the Jags are going to need a few wins down the stretch to go where they want to go. I didn't talk more about Evan Ingram, but I need to. This guy's awesome. This guy has been great. You talk about consistency, guys. He had, I think it was 9 targets, 9 catches last night. Finally gets in the end zone. Looked like he jumped in from the 10-yard line. He wanted that end zone so badly. I mean, how good has he been for the Jags when we're searching for the consistent guys, who's going to make a play? He had 2 blocks, I think, in the first 2 drives of the game that were terrific, including one on the ETN touchdown run.
Yeah, definitely.
Man, oh, man, has he been awesome for the Jags.
He's been great. And Trevor's security blanket. You think about Christian Kirk, you think about the guy that Trev wants to go to every time, but Evan's that guy too. And without Christian Kirk, you can only imagine that role grows for Evan.
I mean, he is now, hey, Kasey, he becomes like one of the guys. Like, he's already been the guy, but he really becomes the guy now for Trevor or for this offense, C.J. Beathard, with Kirk going down. Like, I would think he'll even get more.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's Trevor's guy, but at the end of the day, everyone's looking for that tight end, it feels like, when the backup quarterback comes in. So, yeah, I mean, it's safe, it's secure, and he's one of your best playmakers, so it works out for him.
That's the thing. He's doing such a good job blocking, and he's doing such a good job running his routes that it makes it that much harder to play against him because the Jaguars are multidimensional. It's not a pass-only team. It's certainly not a run-only team. But Evan Ingram can do it all. He's going to be out there on every play, whether he's lining up in trips or whether he's playing as if he's part of the offensive line. The dude can do a lot on the same play.
Well, last year, in 17 football games, he had 73 catches.
Mm-hmm.
This year, in 12 football games, he has 73 catches.
It's wild.
That's insane.
Last year felt way more celebrated in terms of career milestone and achievement than this year feels already.
Because it was the GOATed Jags tight end year of all time.
That being said, this man is on pace for 100 receptions.
That's wild.
This man is on pace with a contract extension to be maybe the best tight end in franchise history.
This man is good. You guys both had a this man, so I just want to.
You got to throw in there.
This man is mad good and flew through the air last night and finally scored. Shout out. Finally hit that bet.
The only thing that's
Feels
a little odd is the 8.3 yards per reception. Last year it was at 10.5, and obviously he found the end zone. I think he'll find the end zone a few more times still this year, but he's been so good. 73 catches on 91 targets.
You got to wonder why he's not more of a red zone target for Trevor.
Yeah, I think because he's
a good blocker, though.
They use him in the blocking game, yeah.
Which makes sense, but as a tight end, especially if you're being covered by a smaller linebacker because he's so big, or even worse for the defense, a smaller cornerback, it just seems like that fade route could work for Evan in the same way that it works for, a lot of tall wide receivers.
Maybe because it makes too much sense. Everyone's looking for their tight end in the red zone. They're playing chess, not checkers. Press Taylor's like, he ain't going to catch me with Ingram as the main target in the red zone. That's what everybody's thinking.
Fair enough.
That's why I'm going to Dearness Johnson. Everyone's like, what are you doing?
By the way, we do have to mention Josh Allen as well, and we will do that when we come back on ESPN at 690. Hey, as you set up that budget for 2024, look at that home improvement list. Ask yourself, how much is your old AC unit worth? Bolt City Heating and Air bringing back its annual buyback program. You can get up to $1,200 for your old AC unit, and they just got a fantastic financing plan as well at Bolt City Heating and Air. No payments, no interest for 12 months. Check it out, BoldCityAC.com. Bold City Heating and Air.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
From selling out of the back of a car to one of the biggest outfitters in the Southeast, Baker Sports is quite the story. And on a daily basis, they are helping you write your story with a high school name or sports team across a uniform and so much more. And now it's a one-stop shop with Baker Sports, carrying Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour. They already make you look good, and now they can help you look better than ever. Baker Sports, custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team. And it's easy to do at bakersport.com.
This is Ortho Health Insights, tips for life in motion, brought to you by the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. You are never too old or too young to begin improving your orthopedic health. We count on our knees for everything, from walking to working out and playing sports. Knee pain can be the result of aging, arthritis, athletic activities, and injuries. Obesity is also a factor for knee pain due to the increased stress placed on the joint and can aggravate the symptoms of osteoarthritis. However, exercise and weight loss can delay symptoms related to osteoarthritis. Being physically active boosts the health of cartilage tissue. People with joint pain can benefit from activities such as water aerobics, which puts less stress on the knee. The orthopedic physicians at JOI are experienced in diagnosing the cause and treating your pain. Whether you need a course of physical therapy or surgery, JOI can help. Call 904-JOI-2000. That's 904-JOI-2000. Or to learn more, go to JOI.net. JOI is the official sports medicine provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
I'm Mark Anajar. I'm Glenn Levine. I'm Ellie Anajar. Together, we're Anajar and Levine. If you've been hurt in a car crash, we'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call Anajar and Levine for your free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. Main office, Jacksonville.
The 12 Days of Christmas is back and better than ever at Best Bet Jacksonville. From December 12th to the 23rd, we're lighting up the tables with the much-anticipated 12 Days of Christmas high hands and giving away over $275,000 in cash. The excitement grows each day, starting at $1,200 and climbing up to $2,300, and the chance to set sail on a World Poker Tour cruise. Don't miss out on the action. Explore all our December promotions at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com. Your destination for the best poker action this holiday season.
Time to hoop it up and swoop it up with the Ospreys. Men's and women's basketball season is here. They are off and running. UNFOspreys.com for your season tickets. Plenty of options in the beautiful UNF Arena to watch a fun brand of hoops. In December alone, 7 home games between the men and the women. Season tickets, flex plans, premium seat, and suite options are available. Matthew Driscoll and the men off to a nice start. New women's coach Erica Lambert has her team playing tough. It's the busiest home slate in the D1 era. More than 30 games at UNF Arena. Go to UNFOspreys.com.
Hi, it's Mike Lester. This Christmas season, I hope you're able to slow down and take time to enjoy the things that really matter in life. For me, it's my wife Katie and our 4 beautiful children. our youngest Finn is probably the most excited.
I really want it to be Christmas. I lost my 2 front teeth.
Well, that's my Finn. Thank you for listening to the Guarding Your Nest Egg radio show. When you have questions about investing and retirement planning, we're here for you all year long.
Merry Christmas.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides 24/7 compassionate support and connection to trained counselors. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. The Lifeline works. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, just call, text, or chat 988.
Hey, it's Amanda, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A nugget trays is that they're so easy for the holidays. They're warm and flavorful. It's always the crowd pleaser. When I put down a nugget tray, everyone is happy.
Hey, this is Brian, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A nugget trays is the joy that it brings to me and everybody around me during the holidays. They're warm, juicy, and delicious.
Cater the holidays with Chick-fil-A today. Available on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Pro Paint Days are back for MVP's Pro Rewards members at Lowe's. Now through December 15th, you can earn 10% back in paint rewards via Lowe's e-gift card when you spend $100 or more on qualifying paint purchases. Plus, save $10 on a new and exclusive 5-gallon pail of HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Drywall PVA Primer and Sealer. Lowe's knows paint. Lowe's knows pros. Offers valid 12/4 through 12/15. Exclusions, restrictions, and more terms apply. See lowes.com/L/pro loyalty terms. Subject to change.
Stay with ESPN 690 for your chance to see and hear our special events in the Farah and Farah Performance Studio throughout 2023. Powered by Farah and Farah and ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Hey, welcome back to Sneakers in Jack's Beach. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kuhrts, as the Jags lose to the Bengals 34-31 in overtime, and lose Trevor Lawrence, we think, but we don't know. It's a high ankle sprain. I'll tell you what, if this guy gets on the podium tomorrow and he walks up there like hardly anything's wrong, that's going to be something. He is scheduled to meet with the media tomorrow.
You really are putting a lot of stock in that.
I mean, I'm not trying to be overly dramatic about it. I just do think there's some significance to it. Like I mean, I've been around this thing long enough to know, like, if they, I'm not saying they wouldn't, I don't think it indicates that he's playing. I just think it indicates that they really don't know yet. They're going to see how this unfolds. Now, they could, by tomorrow morning at some point, when he comes into the building after a couple of days, be like, listen, you're not practicing this week. You're done. We're going to put C.J. Beathard up there. Now, because he's the face of the franchise and he didn't talk yesterday after the game, he may talk anyway about the injury. So
I imagine the media wants to see him and speak to him.
They do, but you don't always get that.
That's fair.
Especially with injured players.
Okay,
you know?
In a situation like this, I would assume, though, that Trev would want to be out there talking to them.
Yeah, like I think he understands that part. But when you have, I think we've had scenarios in the past where we've seen two quarterbacks talk if there's some question of if a guy's going to play. I can't exactly remember that, but I feel like we've had that. And C.J. Beathard's not scheduled to talk this week. So, again, my prediction is he doesn't play.
Yeah.
I just think it's pretty interesting that they didn't push his availability back or didn't just make him available. So, I mean, listen, there are plenty of guys that get hurt and they don't talk that week. Like if they're not playing. That happens all over. Quarterback is treated a little bit differently.
Franchise quarterback, yeah.
But anyway, I think there's at least something to watch tomorrow. And I guess we'll get a better idea of what he says. Maybe he'll tell us.
Totally.
Like, listen, I can't go, right? But he was pretty nondescript the last time this came up, and he ended up playing.
I would imagine with gamesmanship being what it is, he's not going to reveal many cards when he speaks.
But I mean, he's a pretty genuine guy, too. Like, he doesn't hide things very well. You can usually get a pretty good gauge of what Trevor's thinking. You know who else doesn't hide things very well? Steven. Steven's on the line right now, and so much hype going into that one yesterday, Steven, when we talked to you. Not so much anymore.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, you drive 3 hours for that defensive performance, man. No, I'm so disappointed with the defense. I mean, Tyson Campbell had his worst game of the season in his career, in my opinion. Josh Allen, God bless him, he did what he could with the sack and a half and the interception off Tyler Boyd. They were just spreading them out and pounding it up the middle. Devon clearly isn't playing like he normally is. Foley got hurt, and it was just mayhem with the defense. On the offense, next year I agree with Kasey and all of you that this musical chair stuff needs to be put to rest. Walker needs to play one position and one position only because we need to start running the ball, and we're not being able to do that. I feel bad for Walker because his leg gave out on the play that Trevor got hurt. But my big concern is, and I don't know if you guys brought this up, Parker Washington, though he made some good catches, he had a good return, and he got the touchdown, out there, he looked a little confused. Trevor was mad we had to burn a timeout because, I don't think he knew he had to go in motion. And other times you see Zay or Ridley out there trying to help him line up and tell him what to do. And, I mean, you better spend the rest of the week telling him exactly what he needs to do on each and every play because, I mean, Kirk ain't coming back for a few weeks, or we're not 100% sure what's going on with him. But and that play, he got hurt. I stood there and watching it. He locked in on Parker, and Parker had his back to him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that does concern me a little.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Stephen, appreciate the call, man. Hopefully they bounce back against the Cleveland Browns. We will talk more Parker Washington when we come back, too, because I think he had an interesting night, and he's part of what the Jags are going to have to get through here. It's not just Trevor, C.J. Beathard, potentially. It's more than that. But he also showed some pretty darn good things. And he brought something else out of Trevor Lawrence, I thought, that we haven't seen very often. And I'm not sure it's a positive thing or a negative thing. I wonder what these guys have to say about it. Football at 5 next on ESPN 690. Discover how good your water can be with the new Kinetico softener and drinking water system. Kinetico's twin tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it. Have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Kinetico K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Kinetico Premier softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Kinetico dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity. The future of college football is now, and our primary goal is to position the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl and Jacksonville to be prepared for a potential college football expansion. And we need you, our local business leaders, to join our team and showcase that Jacksonville supports college football. Gator Bowl Sports has opportunities for all companies, whether you have 5 employees or 5,000. I would love to meet you and talk about our future. If you'd like to learn more, contact me at 904-798-1700.
Don't go through another year with that awful joint pain. Call QC Kinetics right now and get a free consultation at 904-274-5522. Make 2024 the year you are back to living normal life again. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau. QC Kinetics can give you your life back. They're the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. These are all natural treatments that can repair and restore that damaged tissue, giving you pain-free movement once again. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied patients around the country, people who had knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, who are able to get lasting relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. If you have pain from an old injury or pain associated with arthritis, you need to check this out and get a free consultation, 904-274-5522 with QC Kinetics. The future of medicine is here. Regenerative treatments from QC Kinetics. Make the call now and get a free consultation so you can get the most out of 2024. 904-274-5522.
What? They did not tell me they were going to do that. I need a new bank.
Well, actually, One-to-One Financial doesn't do the usual bank surprises because we're not a bank. We're a credit union. And that means lower loan interest, things like free checking and member rewards, and of course, total investment back into our community.
I'm sold.
Find a better way to bank than big banks with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Visit 121fcu.org for more information on opening an account today.
Federally insured by NCUA.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
I'm Christine Lisi. An update on Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence today from Coach Doug Peterson. High right ankle sprain, but he did escape further damage last night. If Lawrence can't play Sunday, C.J. Beathard starts against the Browns. Jacksonville currently 4th in the AFC, up a game on the Texans and Colts in the AFC South. ESPN NFL insider Dan Graziano.
If Trevor Lawrence is out or limited, I think that puts them in a bad position with regard to their next two games, which are against the Browns and the Ravens. Two incredibly tough defenses and two AFC playoff contenders that are obviously playing for something. So I think they're in some trouble.
Dan Graziano on Carlin versus Joe. Cleveland is the 6th seed in the AFC, and along with the Steelers, 2 back of AFC North leading Baltimore. Giants quarterback Tommy DeVito will start against the Packers Monday night. Jets released quarterback Tim Boyle and signed Brett Rippon from Seattle's practice squad. Dodgers manager Dave Roberts acknowledged his team met a couple of days ago with two-way star Shohei Ohtani, added clearly Shohei is their top priority.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Paid actor portrayal.
I didn't see it coming. Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. The mortgage, car payments, and all the other bills. Even things like our annual summer vacation would be out of reach. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. I knew it was time to stop putting it off and get life insurance right now. I got on my computer and went to ethoslife.com. In just 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected. Thanks to Ethos, my family won't have to worry about the bills if the unpredictable happens to me.
Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's GETETHOS.com.
As you set up that budget for 2024 to look at the home improvement list, ask yourself, how much is your old AC unit worth? Bolt City Heating and Air is bringing back its annual buyback program. You get up to $1,200 for your old AC unit when you purchase a new Carrier unit with Bolt City Heating and Air. BoltCityAC.com. Let Bolt City keep your family at the right temperature and help make it a comfortable start to 2024. Bolt City Heating and Air, the AC place I use, locally owned and operated. BoltCityAC.com.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends.
Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time. We're getting a little punchy around here, people. It's been a lot in a row.
I would love to punch you guys.
Ow! It really hit me. Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and Kasey Kuhrts. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Hey, football at 5 here on ESPN 690 on a Tuesday. We're reacting, of course, to the Jaguars' loss on Monday Night Football. The wait maybe wasn't worth it for Jags fans as Trevor Lawrence gets hurt. Christian Kirk gets hurt. The Jaguars lose in overtime 34-31. I think we've kind of danced around this part of the conversation for a little bit, but let's get to it.
Oh, no.
It's not that bad, guys. Like, we've already had all the bad stuff. I mean,
this is good
the
stuff?
Injuries, the defense stinks, like all that stuff. We have done that. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kuhrts. How many games do they need to win to get to the playoffs? Like, what's the actual number that's going to get them in?
To, like, not have to worry about tiebreakers?
Well, yeah, they essentially have a 2-game lead right now in the AFC South, in my opinion, because they hold this. It's a 2-game lead over Indy because they have the tiebreak scenario. Same thing with Houston with all the tiebreakers. It I think works out in the Jags' favor even after last night in many of them. But you have to finish tied at the very least in the standings, win-loss-wise, with those teams for that to matter. What's that going to take?
It feels like 9 wins would do it.
No way.
Yeah, it feels like 9 wins would do it.
Guys, they have an easy schedule. I think I just saw
Don't say
somewhere
guys. That wasn't my answer.
ESPN has Houston has the third easiest schedule left.
They do. They don't play anybody.
I
Neither
understand.
do the Colts.
I understand. I think 9 wins, especially because they own those tiebreakers, 9 wins will get them in.
They need to win 3 more times.
To not worry about tiebreakers.
To not worry about tiebreakers.
Which is my original point.
Which is why if they could have just found a way last night, even amidst everything else, it would have been so big. So what 3 games are they going to win?
Probably the last 3.
You think Tennessee, Carolina, and Tampa taking the easy way out, are you?
I mean, I think...
You're forgetting it's the NFL case.
Listen, I don't care. Barring something incredible, they're going to beat Carolina.
Because I'll tell you this much. If you're playing Will Levis in Tennessee with the playoffs on the line...
I don't love that scenario.
I don't feel comfortable with that at all.
I don't love the scenario where they absolutely must beat Tennessee.
In Tennessee?
I don't love that
again?
at all. But
well, you know what? I'd take it.
Over what?
Not getting in?
Over clinching against Carolina or Tampa? I mean,
I think clinching is going to be very difficult. I mean, listen, the Jags' schedule isn't necessarily hard. Browns, I think, is tricky. Baltimore's very difficult. And then the last 3, like you guys are saying on paper, isn't that hard. But the schedule just got a lot harder because you have no idea if Trevor's going to be there for the next couple. Is he going to come back for Tampa? When does he come back? You don't have Christian Kirk. You have injuries now across the board in other spots, and you're probably going to get some more.
Yeah.
Just the way the league works. So this right now, nothing's easy. And listen, Houston's doing the same thing. They just lost Tank Dell. They were playing without Schultz the other day. They found a way to win. Like, you have to find a way to win now. I do think if they can find their way to 11, they get in.
11, they absolutely get in.
Yeah, I don't know if 10 gets it.
That is, I think, not accurate. If you look
you're talking about the division or the whole thing?
The whole playoffs. That's what I'm talking about.
Well,
Brent, you think they need 10? You don't think 10 will get even a wild card?
I think 10 brings a lot of questions into play that I can't figure out. Like, you're telling me that you don't think the Bills can win 4 out of 5? If they lose to Cleveland will already be at 8. They just need to win 2 more games.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in theory the Bills could.
Houston and Indy could get to 10 wins and play for their 11th win in the final week of the regular season, even if they just lose one more time.
I guess, man. Yeah, but I just don't buy that Indy's going to run off the rest of their games. I think they're going to lose a couple
Listen
of times.
to who Brent thinks the Bills are taking 4 or 5 from, though.
I know. I'm not worried about
Chiefs, the Cowboys, the Chargers, Pats, and Dolphins.
I think Buffalo's a non-factor. I really do. But in theory, could they? The answer is yes, because they have talented players.
I'm just saying, you got 7-win teams right now in Houston, Cleveland, Indy, and the Steelers, right?
So the Steelers aren't, without Pickett, and I like Trubisky, they ain't running off the rest of them.
And you beat them.
And right, you beat them there, but
you swept the Colts.
Right.
They're the next team up.
They're not winning out.
You hope you win against the Browns, but if you don't, okay, you don't. And then the Texans you split with,
and
Broncos behind them. So, 10 wins, absolutely you're in, to me.
I think so too, right? I really do.
Yeah, I mean, you guys might be right.
I think a couple of those will finish with 9, though, so 10 may be the drop-dead number.
Listen, I could see both the Indy and Houston losing this weekend, to be honest. I know Houston goes to the Jets. How's the rookie quarterback going to deal with that defense? No, seriously. I mean, I think this will be his toughest test. That defense has been fantastic.
The Jets?
Yeah. Now, I don't know if they can score, but they can't. But I'm not sure Houston's going to light up the scoreboard either in that game.
They can't score. That defense scores every game.
and then Indy goes to Cincy, which right now I just saw a Cincy team that played pretty damn well.
Yeah.
They're really good.
So
goated even.
I could see them losing, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I could see Houston has such an easy schedule that the way they're playing, it would be unbelievable for them to win 11 games, but it's really not out of the question. Really not. That's getting 4 out of 5. Go look at their schedule and find me the losses.
If Houston wins 11 games this year, how do you not make DeMeco Ryans honorary Coach of the Year forever?
Yeah, he might already be Coach.
Forever is wild.
It's just all-time Coach of the Year at that point.
But their schedule, again, I'm not predicting. I'm just asking. I think 3 wins get you locked in where you don't have to worry about it. I think if you win 2 more and you end up at 10, I think you're bringing a whole bunch of people into play with you. And then I don't know where all the scenarios fall, because did they lose? Did they beat Carolina and Tampa? Did they lose to Tampa? Did they lose all the AFC games? Like, that becomes, if the Jags only win 10, that means they lost to Cincy, Cleveland, and Baltimore, which is all AFC games, which is going to make tiebreaker situations
it's gonna hurt.
Pretty tough.
Especially because Cleveland and Baltimore are in that playoff hunt. But they're not the only ones who play Cleveland. I mean, Houston plays Cleveland as well.
Yeah. I just think you got to be a little careful right now. They lost their franchise quarterback and one of their best receivers for a little bit. Their defense is reeling. Their offensive line can't figure it out. And after what I saw last night and what we see week to week in this league, I just don't know how you can just feel comfortable about the Jaguars making the postseason right now. And I'm not predicting they're not going to. I'm just asking the scenario where you would feel comfortable. And for me, it's 3 wins, and I really don't want to save those for the final 3 games, although there's the path there to do it, because then maybe Trevor would be back by then anyway.
I don't think we're disagreeing with each other here. I think we all think 10 wins gets you in the playoffs, but I do think math is still on their side.
I would agree with that. Yeah. I agree with that. And listen, I don't mind their chances this week without Trevor Lawrence. I think they are going to bounce back. This has been a resilient group. Some of the things that I saw on social media in the last day, I think are so unfair to what Doug Peterson has done. Doug Peterson, to me, has built up some equity here. Not to say, hey, that was a great performance. I'm not saying that. But people want Mike Caldwell fired after last night. They want Doug Peterson. Like, what are you doing? I saw this stuff like Balky. Listen, this is an organization 18 months ago that was a mess. And now the Jaguars, because of their success last year, have raised everybody's expectations. We've done this before. We've said it. We feel like the Jaguars should be playing for a Super Bowl this year because they won a playoff game last year. The division was supposed to look a certain way. In reality, the Jaguars probably are right where they should be, or maybe even exceeding a little bit in the process of coming back from 2 number 1 overall picks in a row. I mean, you don't flip things that quickly to where you become just an elite team in the NFL. And I think that's what we saw last night a little bit. I think we're seeing a team that's not right there, even if you think their record indicates that they are close to being there. I think this still is a team that's trying to figure out how to bring it each and every week, how to bring it in a primetime game. I think Cincinnati showcased yesterday. They know how to bring it in a primetime game with or without Joe Burrow, because they've done it in the last 3 years. They've been in that spotlight. They're veterans. They know how to handle it. Jamar Chase put on a show. Joe Mixon was way better than he's been in the last few weeks. Zach Taylor was really good. So I'm not telling you the Jags aren't ready. I just don't think they're there right now as of December 4th. And I also think they're taking shots from last night a little bit because of what the Vegas line said and, of course, what the backup quarterback did. Like it's inexcusable. I'm not trying to excuse that part. They really should have beaten Cincinnati, and they can't look like that against the backup quarterback. Totally get it.
I do think it's been interesting where if we had a real producer of the show, that they would get clips together from the whole season of us going, oh, the Jags, they're not playing like a top team, and then it's, oh, the Jags are part of the elite conversation, and then it's, oh, man, just got blown out at home. Are we who we thought they were? And then 2 weeks of big wins go by, and it's, here we are, top 2 or 3 team in the league, and then after last night, it's like, oh, man, just knocking at the door but not ready yet. I mean, it has been a bit of an emotional roller coaster for folks following the team. If you're looking or waiting, really, with bated breath for them to show you that they're an elite team or have taken this step to be one of the big boys in the conference. But I think it's easy to forget, technically, they're kind of still ahead of schedule.
Why did I catch a random stray for no reason?
You caught a big-time stray there. I was going to say
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I don't understand what just happened there. Why? What happened?
What happened?
Why did I take Brent? Can you fire him?
Yeah, maybe.
I thought you guys did that already.
In another couple of minutes.
That was out of unexpected. Like, all right, man.
I mean, if you
see
saw
how it's
your
gonna
work for the year, you wouldn't call it unexpected.
Hey, man, you pay me minimum wage, you get minimum wage work.
That's
fair.
fair.
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know. You don't have to tell more.
Brent?
I think what you just told us, though, outside of taking a shot at Kasey,
thank you,
is that we really just don't know who the Jaguars are yet.
Yeah.
When they get you excited about being right there, you're like, they come back to earth and they're like, hey, sorry, but we've given you too much. Like, are they really a team that should have won 7 out of 8 in this stretch? They did, but I don't know if they're good enough to do that. Everybody thought they were going to win out. I thought you all were crazy for thinking the Jags were going to win out. Like, I knew they were definitely losing another game. I actually said to somebody yesterday, I didn't try to say it too loud, but I said, if there was a game they were going to lose, last night's actually the one. Now, once you get your quarterback hurt and everything, I think the Baltimore win would be more important than the Cincinnati win is what I was going with.
Understood.
You know what I mean?
Like, if you're gonna lose one, you lose this one, you still have a lock on the AFC South. You're still a top 4 seed. You still have really important games in front of you, like the Baltimore game and even the Cleveland. I get it.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Now,
all bets are off the table now, though.
Exactly. Like, now you just feel awful about that Sunday night game. I mean, what are the chances, right?
Yeah, gave
the
one
Jaguars,
away.
if they don't have Trevor. Now, if Trevor comes back by then, which seems like there's a chance, and heck, he might come back by Sunday. I've got to catch myself. In my mind, I've already eliminated them from playing on Sunday, but the Jags have not. So these next couple weeks take different form. We had mentioned, Stephen brought up Parker Washington. What an interesting game for that guy.
Really? Ups and downs, highs and lows.
Holy cow. I mean, I thought he showed off some terrific hands early in the game before the touchdown catch.
Yeah, a little to be excited about.
Yeah, then he makes a hell of a catch in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
Was that like the best catch the Jags have had all year?
Might have been the best defensive play the Jags had all year. I mean, he stole it from the corner.
That was such a bad throw.
Too. He could get up there too. He's 3-4 feet in the air.
Casey, remember the little bubble screen early in the game? He jumped up and got, I think it was on the first possession or second possession from the Jags, and he jumped up and caught that one. And I was like, wow, this guy's got a little hops. He's got some giddy up right now, you know? And so then he makes the great play. But then, one other thing that he did really well, he got on the fumble late for Beathard.
Not just the fumble. I will say this for Parker Washington. He protected the ball. They were certainly trying to punch it out literally every time the dude was going to sniff a catch. They went ball first on the tackle, twice falling over the guy while holding the ball. He had to wrestle it back from them before the whistle was blown. I thought he did a great job of ball security.
I will say this, though. When he fields a punt, I don't feel great.
Not very secure.
And then he almost dropped. No. He looks uncomfortable to me. And I know that's part of his resume. I'm just telling you, so far, he looks like there's anxiety there.
It was a little nerve-wracking after it bounced off his chest.
Well, and then that happened. But I'm not going to lie. We've been saying it up in the press box, a little group we have up there, for like weeks.
Name names, Brent.
We've been saying it. We're like, this looks
suspect.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. And then boom, he fell. And then he got on top of that one.
You think it's a comfort thing for him? Obviously, he's done this before, so.
Yeah, I think it's a comfort thing. I think the lights are kind of big, and you got to get used to that. Yeah. And I think last night goes a long way to doing that. I'm not saying it's too big for him. I'm just saying you got to settle into it. I mean, the guy's played hardly at all in the NFL.
You need reps, yeah.
And to that point, the other stuff, the lining up. Trevor got pissed when he had to call that timeout.
Yeah, he was hot.
And on the play, Trevor gets hurt. He obviously doesn't do what Trevor wanted him to do, because did you see the video? If you go back and look at that, Trevor actually, before he gets up, is complaining to Parker Washington.
Yeah.
Like, he's not complaining about the injury. He's actually like, why weren't you there? Why didn't you do this?
Supposed to, yeah.
And so it's like this mixed bag, and it also brings out are we seeing a more animated Trevor Lawrence? The body language yesterday was way more animated than I think I've ever seen Trevor.
Yeah.
And not just on the injury. Kasey, the timeout. Remember the delay of game with the refs? He was pissed at the ref, too?
Yeah, no, I think it's been kind of building because I think we said that a couple of weeks ago. It's like, Trevor's letting out a little bit, and Aaron was like, yeah, he's earned it. And then we were like, oh, okay. And now it's even more of it, but I think also he has earned it.
Well, I think that also on the heels, when I was in the locker room in Houston, I asked those guys about Trevor, and they kept bringing up, hey, he did a great job being a leader. And Evan Ingram was a little more specific when we had him on last week on Jaguars All Access. He was like, hey, he's holding people accountable. Like, he's not afraid to get in your shirt a little bit. And, like, I like that. Like, the players are like, that's what he needs to do. This is his football team, and they respect that. Hold people accountable. Well, I think you saw that a little bit yesterday as well. Parker not lining up. What the heck? Got to burn a timeout. I don't want to use that timeout. The official thing's a little bit different, but even at the end, now could he have been frustrated because of the injury as well? I think he was really frustrated at like, come on, let's go. Let's get this thing lined up. I know you're new out here, but we got to make sure we're on the details.
Yeah.
And I think he is holding people accountable now. And I think I have not seen that before. I have not seen this animated of a Trevor Lawrence and sometimes frustrated, I think, in the same game at least. There might be a moment here or there, but I thought there was a bunch of it last night.
Why do people like that? Is it because when you don't do it, you give off the aloofness? It's almost like you don't care?
No, because one thing I'll say about football more than maybe anything we do in our lives, and maybe any other sport that gets played, accountability is real.
Okay, but like,
right?
I think it goes past that with a lot of fans. They want to see anger.
It's not anger. Yeah, I think they want to see anger sometimes and emotion out of like the head coach. I think that's sometimes
that's
case.
some of it, sure, yeah.
They want to hear what they want to hear is what I say. They want if you like we do it sometimes on social media. If I tell you that call was the worst call ever, well, you wanted me to say that because now I agree with you, right? And so you get excited about that.
Okay, but there's a specific thing that happens when like if a player isn't mad about something, then he doesn't care. And I never get that.
Yeah, I think Trevor has this wonderful balance usually of being even keel. In fact, in that Chargers game, he was so even keel he didn't blink. And I think it allowed him to come back and perform the way he did. I think really the whole Urban year was a bit of evidence toward that, right? And so, but I also think it's okay to be fiery sometimes. I think some of the great ones are fiery.
Sure.
Brady, Manning, Marino, like come to mind. Elway, like these guys, it's okay. You know what? Mahomes gets in people's shirts sometimes.
Sure.
And so I think, to me, that's a sign of growth more than anything. It's not like, hey, I love that, great job. It's more, he's owning the team. Like, he already knows that he's the franchise quarterback. It's just kind of like that next step of it. And I think the players, that's what's interesting to me, is the players. The veteran guys are seeing that, and I think appreciating that and want that, which is cool. Like, I think that's good. But there's one other element here. Parker Washington looks like he's an okay player. Like, that was good stuff. The Jags now have to get by and figure out how to overcome some young guy mistakes.
I think you'll see a lot more of these two tight end sets, though, more so than just throwing Parker Washington out there to learn on the job in big spots. You saw a little bit of it last night, but especially if protection becomes a problem again for C.J. Beathard, you're not trying to make it all the way to Nathan O'Rourke, so a little help on the line doesn't hurt too much.
Yeah, I think they could, but I'm talking about, like, you know what? Tank Bigsby sooner or later is going to have to play again, even though it's been a rough ride at times.
Yep.
I think Gregory Jr., Monteric Brown, those situations, like, they're going to have to play, and you're going to have to figure it out. Anton Harrison, they've been doing that with him. They are not going to be perfect. And it comes at a stretch of football right now where those guys are going to have to tighten it up and hopefully play well for you. And if they don't, it could – go a wrong way. And on a couple occasions, it did.
Yes, it did.
Go a wrong way because of that stuff. So we'll see which one wins out. But they are going to have to rely, with Kirk out, especially Parker Washington, now becomes a factor in the return game until Jamal Agnew comes back and in the receiving game from that slot position. Football at 5 rolls on, 904-362-9901. You can send in your texts as well about the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think we do have to talk a little bit about Josh Allen.
Oh, I thought you were going to say John Rahm going to live. All right, that's fine.
Is he actually going?
No, I just thought it would light you up a little bit on a Tuesday.
Yeah, well, maybe save that one for a Wednesday. Is Josh Allen in the Defensive Player of the Year running? Should he be? Next on ESPN 690.
With stores in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra, Underwoods has the largest American Gym Society credentialed staff east of the Mississippi River.
Celebrate December with Best Bet. We're giving away an incredible $275,000 in cash. Kickstart your holiday fun at Jacksonville and Orange Park with amazing promotions like $500 High-Hand Fridays, 12 Days of Christmas, and the $40,000 Guaranteed GoPo 400 Tournament. We have you covered with fun, fast card games like 1-card and 3-card poker, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, and more. New to the game? No worries. Our friendly dealers are ready to teach you the ropes. For all the details, head over to bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
As you set up that budget for 2024 to look at the home improvement list, ask yourself, how much is your old AC unit worth? Bolt City Heating and Air is bringing back its annual buyback program. You get up to $1,200 for your old AC unit when you purchase a new Carrier unit with Bolt City Heating and Air. BoltCityAC.com. Let Bolt City keep your family at the right temperature and help make it a comfortable start to 2024. Bolt City Heating and Air, the AC place I use, locally owned and operated. BoltCityAC.com.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Chilly temperatures tonight all the way down into the mid and upper 40s, and it's comfortably cool for Wednesday, but breezy. We'll have mostly sunny skies and high temperatures only in the upper 50s to the lower 60s. It stays dry through Thursday, waking up to temperatures in the mid to upper 30s, so some patchy frost inland is possible by Thursday morning. We stay dry with mostly sunny skies and highs in the lower 60s by Thursday afternoon. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Trevor Gibbs.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Don't miss Beard's incredible Christmas sale, where everything is 43% off through Christmas Eve.
When the big story breaks, Action News Jax gives you an instant advantage with the biggest team of experienced reporters, giving you more details because we get more details with live, fast-changing updates as they happen. So you know the whole story, streaming on every screen, so you're informed no matter where you are. There's a reason we're number one for breaking news, because if it's happening now and in your neighborhood, it's on Action News Jax. Local coverage you can count on.
The Salvation Army of Northeast Florida is hosting its 4th annual telethon in support of the nationwide Red Kettle campaign. The Salvation Army has been serving Northeast Florida since 1981, providing food, clothing, shelter, and services to our local neighbors in need. Tune in to Action News Jax Thursday, December 7th from 6:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. to help us do the most good. All donations will go towards helping local children and families have a merrier and brighter Christmas season. Call 1-800-963-6061 to make your pledge.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Hey, it's Brian Middleton, and I'm here with Paige, a friend and the owner of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Now, thanks to Awaken 180, I've now dropped almost 60 pounds in just 3 months. But it's not about the number. Paige, after 9 years, what continues to inspire you?
It's so inspiring to hear people change their lives and to be a part of that every day. The more people who can transform their lives and feel better and be more confident and be happier and see that change come through in every aspect of their life, not just in their weight or how they look or the clothes that they wear, but in their career and in their family and how they inspire their kids. That's why we do this.
Thanks, Paige. Changing lives without medications, the gym, or fasting. If you're ready to make a 180 with your health, choose the solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it. Have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Connecticut K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut Premier softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't Be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
You don't even like your quarterback.
Kasey Kuhrts.
You don't even like your team.
And Aaron Schachter.
I don't even like myself, guys. Do you know me?
On Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Are we back?
Yes, sir.
No. We're not back, Brent. Go ahead. Do what you're doing.
You happened to sit down exactly as the music bed was hitting. It was pretty ironic.
That is pretty ironic. I was like, I think we're back.
Guys, nothing ironic about what it's coincidental.
Oh, coincidental.
Yeah.
Is ironic the wrong word?
It is the wrong word, yeah.
Kind of like controlling your own destiny. You control your own fate, apparently.
Yeah, Yeah. Tell him, Brent.
What are you, like a big English guy?
No, not quite.
Oh, okay. Grammar police
big
guy?
Are
you that guy?
I am
Are
a
you
grammar police guy, yes.
Oh, you're a grammar police
But
guy.
only because it annoys literally everybody. There isn't one person who's like, oh, grammar police, that's cool. Even the people who do it hate it.
The one thing I really enjoy now about Twitter is we've lasted long enough that the folks that used to say, like, you missed a word or left a word or spelled something wrong, they've given up on that.
Oh, no.
Most of them have. Like, at least with me they have. Like, they are very – if I screw something up, they're kind of like, well, yeah, he's probably in the middle of talking. They let them go. Like,
well, they know what to expect with you, Brent. That's fine.
Yeah, maybe they know.
But one of my favorite burns is someone who goes off on like an 18-post thread just killing somebody, and the response is, you misspelled your. I love it.
That's it. Well, yeah, you're right. Like, especially if they disagree.
Yes.
Right? That's the one that's again. Yes, your.
It's like asterisk YOUR. Perfect.
That is correct. Hey, real quick, Josh Allen, Defensive Player of the Year. Is he in the conversation?
In the conversation is tough because there are so many big defensive performances this season. So it's a little bit misleading to say no, he's not in the conversation because he's having his best year in his career. He's earning a huge contract. As a matter of fact, I had written a bunch of overreaction questions for you, and one of them was literally, Josh Allen is too important to allow to walk away in free agency. Do you think that's an overreaction or not?
No, that's about as accurate as you can get.
Because I have gone from he's playing himself out of a Jaguars jersey to thinking there's no way they can't sign him now.
Oh, I mean, you have to sign him.
Have to.
I mean, you have to franchise tag him or sign him.
Yeah, or both, yeah.
Yeah, or both. Eventually get to there.
Yeah.
But where is he? Like, how after another sack and a half, an interception? Like, see, the interception matters here for Defensive Player of the Year type stuff. Like, he's past Myles Garrett now in sacks. I mean, he's looking at a career year, record-breaking year, and also maybe starting to toy with leading the league in sacks with 5 games to go.
He's got a lot to chase.
What's chase? 15?
Yeah.
Kasey, can he lead the league in sacks?
Yeah, they played Carolina and Tampa. Yeah, absolutely.
You just those 2 games?
Well, I'm just kind of Tennessee, also good opportunity there. So yeah,
I mean,
you can.
maybe Cleveland.
Maybe. I mean, if Flacco's back there, anything's possible. My man's is slow.
I just think it's unreasonable to expect Josh Allen to average over 2 sacks a game for the rest of the season, and Khalil Mack is on such a tear right now. If he plays anything up to what he's been playing the last couple of weeks, Josh will need to do that. TJ Watt at 14 sacks. These are guys that chunk sacks together. You don't necessarily see that from Josh this year. It's been a steady consistency from Josh.
In fairness, Khalil Mack went 0-0-0-0-6.
Yeah.
So, he could drop a couple more zeros.
Fair, but after the 6, why don't you keep reading down that list?
Brent,
lost to
he's
eyesight?
really turned it on. He has turned it on.
Yeah.
But like you said, 2.5 sacks plus, I think, for Josh in like 4 different games this year.
Yeah.
And one of my things about Josh, who I love, is that, hey, can you be more consistent, right? Can you come off a 2.5 sack game and then go get another 1 or 1.5? Well, he just did it in huge games. And the eye test says so much more than even the numbers for Josh Allen. And by the way, guys, was that the dumbest call like you've seen this year by Cincinnati in that spot when Josh Allen picked that off?
You're talking about the Tyler Boyd throwback to
Yes.
Jake Browning?
It just seemed to me that Tyler Boyd didn't know what to do once Jake was on the floor, and he's still looking over there as if Jake Browning will magically stand up again. So he throws behind him to Mixon, who probably was in no position to throw that ball to begin with anyway.
It just feels like maybe you shouldn't run that play. That's
Or
all.
bail. Like, at that point, take off, bro.
Or just don't call it.
But
your quarterback is one incompletion at the time, so maybe just let him cook
Well,
instead of
almost-
letting your third wide receiver try to back throw it to your quarterback.
It wasn't the first time they called that play. It either worked or almost worked the first time, I thought.
No, I don't think it worked the first time. I think
then
it was
came close.
somewhat mid the first time. Maybe, I don't know, whatever.
But that being said, Brent, it's not just about these guys who are sacking the cornerback. A guy like DeRon Bland is breaking records this year. Like, he's got to be in the conversation as well.
Yeah, he's been very good. Listen, I'm not telling you that he's a runaway winner. I'm just telling you he should be in the conversation. It was off the board in Las Vegas last week when I looked this up. It better get on the board that Josh Allen's a very much a big part of that. Hey, we're going to go to the phone right now and welcome in a Jacksonville Jaguar, Chandler Brewer, the offensive lineman from the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're going to talk about his My Cause, My Cleats in a moment, too. But, Chandler, you join us, and sometimes you'd call this bad timing, or we could call it good timing. Obviously, a lot happening with the football team last night with Trevor Lawrence with the injuries. As you take a breath coming out of last night's game, how's this football team feeling here on a Tuesday evening with everything that went down yesterday?
Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah, we got you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I mean, man, obviously we wish the game would have went a different way for us. Things obviously didn't go our way, but it's a week-to-week league, and we got to get ready and quick turnaround here for Cleveland this Sunday, and just get everybody back healthy as possible, and go try to go 1-0.
Chandler, you've been around this thing a bit, and you guys think it's a hard thing to explain to people, but you think a lot different than the rest of us on the outside world, right? The next man up, the move on after 24 hours. You guys can hyper-focus and do some of those things and quickly turn it to Cleveland. That's not normal, but you guys have the ability to do that, and I guess that's what you have to lean on this week.
No doubt. I mean, it's definitely these losses like that last night are definitely hard. But like I said, just for this league, I mean, you gotta turn your mind over and kind of flush it and just go get ready for Cleveland and get ready, like I said, and go 1-0 and do the best we can.
How much does it focus you back up that you're right there? I mean, obviously you're right in the lead in the AFC South. You're 8-4. You guys have been a very resilient group, but just the fact that these games mean so much, that's got to focus you on Cleveland in a hurry too, even with some of the adversity, I would imagine.
Yes, for sure. I mean, we know that we have to win these games, and we're just going to do our best. We know that each game matters. And just like I said, the way the league is, you have to be. It's a week-to-week business, and just get after it and try to go 1-0 this week. Just get back to work, get healthy, and just work on us. And we know that we can play really well, and just got to focus on that.
Chandler Brewer with us, the Jaguars offensive lineman, and the reason we had scheduled Chandler on is to talk a little bit about last night's and My Cause, My Cleats, and you obviously are representing a very special organization with Crucial Catch, and the American Cancer Society has teamed up with Crucial Catch. Your story is, I think, a well-documented one, but I'm not sure everybody listening knows about it. You are a cancer survivor when you had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma at 20 years old. What does it mean to represent them and obviously be a cancer survivor and be a little bit of an inspiration to many people?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, man. It means the world to me just to be with American Cancer Society and NFL's Crucial Catch. Just pushing an initiative for early detection to raise funds, and under-resourced communities for screenings. And, that definitely, it means so much to me because I did, I had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma back in 2018, senior year of college. And, I detected it early. So it, it means the world to me to try to push this initiative. And then, being able to do My Cause, My Cleats with American Cancer Society, it was meant the world to me. I just couldn't get over the feeling of being able to, be an ambassador for those guys, and it really close to the heart.
I've got some numbers here. Crucial Catch funding has contributed to 600,000 screenings and reached more than 1 million individuals with education, screening reminders, and patient navigation. And by the way, you can check more about this at NFL.com/Crucial Catch. But you said you caught it early. What was that process like? How did you find it? Is there a story behind that, or was it just a screening?
Yeah, I actually, spring of 2018, spring football, I had a little lump come up on my left leg around my knee. Didn't know much, thought with football, as much as we do with football, just thought it was a little muscle knot of some sort. Went and actually got it checked out, had the surgery to get it out. Just, they thought it was an inflamed lymph node, just wanted to make sure to get that out, and got it out. And then 2 weeks later, ended up getting diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I had a couple more spots, one more spot in my deep kind of in my knee to where they couldn't get to. So, I had to go with that process, met with a cancer doctor there in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, or I went to school at Middle Tennessee State. But, I went through that and had to do radiation during the season of 2018 for 5 days a week, for 6 weeks, and ended up getting put in remission after that. And I've been clear so far, and it's been a blessing to be able to say that I've been able to do that and just use this platform to push a great cause.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Chandler Brewer with us here on Brent and Friends on ESPN 690, and a cancer survivor, Jacksonville Jaguars offensive lineman, and you bounced around. You're one of those guys that is a survivor in the NFL as well, from practice squads to rosters and making a living in the NFL. How much of your journey is in motivation in parts is to continue your story and be able to use this huge platform that the NFL, the Jaguars, and football in general gives you to be able to, even if it's not always on the field, impact off the field?
Yeah, I mean, when 2019, when I started with the LA Rams, it just being able to use that platform that I didn't have any idea that I would be able to use, and just being able to go there in Cedars-Sinai and meet patients. And I've always said, I may have not had as bad of a case as anybody, as certain people, but I feel like we have that connection. And then for them to, see some, with the just being able to have some positive outlook on it, I just think that's huge for someone to have that. And then being able to come here in Jacksonville this year, just trying to push this, and it means the world to me, and that's our goal, and just to try to get this help as many people as we can.
Yeah, well, we love that you're doing that here in Jacksonville as well, and for everybody listening. And the simple message is early detection and screening, right, Chandler?
Yes, it's just initiatives, early detection, raise funds in under-resourced communities, and just, for those cancer screenings.
NFL.com/Crucial Catch. Help Chandler Brewer spread the message more, as he did last night with My Cause, My Cleats. Crucial Catch, Intercept Cancer, and the NFL and the American Cancer Society. Chandler, I know kind of a tough day coming off last night's loss, but good luck against the Cleveland Browns, and thanks for sharing the all-important message with us today on ESPN 690.
I appreciate it, and thank you for having me.
That is Chandler Brewer, a heck of a story as he's overcome non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, a cancer survivor at the age of 20 years old, and now in the NFL, fulfilling his dream and living it out on a major platform. By the way, the My Cause, My Cleats initiative, we've talked about it many times. It's unbelievable. It really is one of the coolest things the NFL does, and obviously you could see it last night on full display here in Jacksonville with all the different organizations.
I'm kind of shocked, Brent,
Jaguars
you haven't taken advantage, like gotten the Action Sports Jacks crew sneakers, like custom-made sneakers for them.
Oh, you're too late to the party, man. I already
think he did that.
Yeah,
I did it.
I
did it
imagine
like
you should have, yeah.
Well, we did it. So I
did you get them all, hey, dudes, is that why no one wears them or no?
Yeah, no, I actually didn't get them any. They're too expensive. So,
nice.
But what I did is I think this was born maybe 6-7 years ago. Maybe I'm missing the time frame. But it really is a neat platform to all the different organizations. And there was a local artist that was designing a lot of the cleats for the players. And so we did a story. And when we did that story, I bought a pair of shoes and asked him to put Tom Coughlin J Fund, speaking of cancer awareness and childhood cancer and for families in Jacksonville, and also our Dream 18 charities as well. And so I still have them. I've worn them quite a bit over the years. In fact, I think I need to paint up a new pair because they're kind of like the paint's starting to split, if you will, you know?
Get one with Kasey's face on
And
it.
we have new logos. Like ESPN 690 didn't even exist at that time.
Might not when you get the new shoes.
I was waiting for, I knew I was setting up for that line. I knew it.
I'd love to see the money line.
Overtime with Kuhrts and Middleton coming up at 6 o'clock. We'll put a bow on this show next on ESPN 690.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine. With stores in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra, it's been Underwood's business to have what she wants since 1928.
From selling out of a back of a car to one of the biggest outfitters in the Southeast, Baker Sports is quite the story. And on a daily basis, they are helping you write your story with a high school name or sports team across a uniform and so much more. And now it's a one-stop shop with Baker Sports, carrying Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour. They already make you look good, and now they can help you look better than ever. Baker Sports, custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team, and it's easy to do at bakersport.com.
Jacksonville is a great place to live. And if you love where you live, you should invest in it. That's why more and more people bank with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. We invest every penny back into North Florida, backing the very best small businesses, nonprofits, and of course, the family home. Why put your money with some big out-of-state bank when you can invest in where you love to live? One-to-One Financial. We're your hometown credit union. Sign up today at one-to-one-fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
If you're the victim of a car crash, never rush to settle with the insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anna Jar Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Main office, Jacksonville. This is Ortho Health Insights. Tips for life in motion brought to you by the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Hand and wrist pain is often caused by daily activities and overuse. One of the most common conditions is carpal tunnel syndrome. The symptoms of carpal tunnel syndrome can include numbness, tingling, burning, pain, or a loss of strength. JOI has innovative treatment and surgical strategies for carpal tunnel syndrome. The team at JOI can treat other hand, wrist, and finger conditions and injuries like fractures, sprains, dislocations, and arthritis. The orthopedic physicians at JOI are experienced in diagnosing the cause and treating your pain. Whether you need a course of physical therapy or surgery, JOI can help. Call 904-JOI-2000. That's 904-JOI-2000. Or learn more at JOI.net. JOI is the official sports medicine provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It was about a year ago we were car shopping at Nimnick Buick GMC once again. This was our 6th car purchase from the Nimnick family of dealerships. Is it time to car shop for you? NimnickBuickGMC.com or the showroom off Phillips Highway. That's the place to go. Special financing on new GMC Sierras, Acadias, and Terrains. Or you can save thousands on a Buick SUV. Want a used vehicle? Nimnick Buick GMC is the #1 car Bravo dealer in the Southeast. Visit off Phillips Highway or just go to NimnickBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Frank, you got to come see my new windows from American Window Products. They're beautiful and they keep the house so cool.
Oh, slow down, Jim.
No, Frank. American Window Products is having a sale right now, and you said you wanted a locally owned business with qualified products and professional installers. Well, American Window Products has all that and more.
More?
Yes, selection and great prices at American Window Products.
Oh, what's that number?
731-2247, a family-owned business since 1981. Check them out at AmericanWindowProducts.com. Call them, Frank.
I'm calling American Window Products right now, Jim.
Hi, I'm Mike Lester, the founder of Talon Wealth and the host of the Guarding Your Nest Egg radio show. Like you, I love this country, and I'm very thankful for those that protect us along with our freedoms. That's why for active military and active first responders, if you decide to work with us, Talon Wealth isn't going to charge you any advisor fees. We're happy to explain all the details, but most importantly, thank you for your service.
Visit guardingyournestegg.com to find out more.
Advisory services through Talon Private Wealth and SEC registered investment advisor. Lord license D056341.
A psoriasis flare-up can make a walk in the park, well, no walk in the park.
It's that obvious, huh? I've tried so many lotions and creams, but I still have symptoms.
So those don't do enough to treat the inflammation beneath the skin, leaving you with those uncontrolled symptoms.
Makes sense, but what else can I do?
You can get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Make an appointment and, oh, you're already on it.
Hi, yes, I'd like to make an appointment.
Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Dell's Cyber Monday event is their biggest sale of the year. Shop limited time deals on laptops like the stylish, innovative XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Plus, save big on ultra-sharp monitors and top brand accessories. It's the perfect time to upgrade any home, business, or gaming setup powered by Intel Core processors. Shop now at Dell.com/deals to take advantage of huge savings and free shipping. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Thanks to Total Wine, you saved more on all the gifts for the ones you adore. Wine, spirits, beers, all nestled on shelves. Got some advice from our helpful elves. Oh, so many gifts to explore when you go to Total Wine and more. Bottles so delightful, whoa. Priced so amazingly low.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690.
Well, we're not even 24 hours removed from the Jags' disappointing loss. There's so much to be disappointed about. The Jaguars get hit by the injury bug for really the first time in a couple of years. And I think that's worth mentioning. They have been very fortunate with injuries. It's just every team has them. And the Jaguars got hit really hard last night, early in that game with Christian Kirk, all the way to Trevor Lawrence. The good news here on Lawrence is Doug Peterson, and I'm sure you've seen it by now, but just in case you haven't, high ankle sprain, no structural damage. They're not even ruling him out of playing on Sunday. In my mind, I have, but they haven't. He's scheduled to talk to the media tomorrow. We'll see what he does on the practice field. It's a short week, which certainly doesn't help the situation. Christian Kirk, meanwhile, though, will likely have surgery, and that will keep him out the remainder of the regular season at the very least. Jaguars also banged up in other spots like Foley Fatukasi, Tre Herndon, concussion, Walker Little, hamstring, Tyson Campbell, quad. I mean, it really hit last night. And Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kuhrts, it's pretty wild to see how fortunate the Jags were a year ago. They have definitely been more banged up this year, but nothing like last night.
No, last night it all seemed to happen in the same game. You haven't seen that in years, if ever, here. But last year, it was so clean. It's almost like you got used to it.
And the problem also magnified is that they didn't win the football game.
Yeah, I think that is also a bad period on the sentence there. But it also doesn't help that a lot of these injuries are piling up at the same position, offensive linemen for you.
One other thing, real fast to kind of sum up our show, which, of course, you can always go back and listen on YouTube, Action Sports Shacks, subscribe to it, Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690 podcast, Twitter. I've been labeling, guys, been trying to do better at it. I've been labeling when we talk about a certain topic.
Nicely done.
Is the defense a big concern? Because they have bounced back from bad performances, and they've been more good than bad.
Well, look, if the offense can keep scoring 28 to 30 points a game, it's less concerning.
Well, it's going to be hard to do without Trevor, maybe, though.
That's a fair point.
Kasey, do you become majorly concerned now about the Jags defense?
No, I do not. I think, there's some spots that could be
That's
better.
Good on you.
But, no, I think that, as weird as it sounds to say, it happens. It happened against Detroit last year, and it got better after that. So I'll say I'm not majorly concerned.
I'm trying to find this tweet before we go.
Hey, can I give you something before we go?
Yeah.
So I can't find the play-by-play schedule on the station, but by the lack of commercials in the next hour, I do not think there's overtime. So unconfirmed, you'll find out at 6 o'clock. It's a tease of all teases because I also don't know.
I'll look it up for you.
Oh, that's interesting. Inside Seminoles football, it would be a hot show if we did that tonight.
Yeah, it's not that either because I know what that commercial looks like. This one looks like nothing I've ever seen
Just an
before.
hour of people screaming into microphones, yeah.
I mean, they should have done that, right?
Of course.
Yes, they should have.
Oh, that would have been just
Case, you think they should boycott the bowl game or no?
I do.
They won't.
Of course not.
Brent, what was your one more before we go? Because I'm now thinking we got to get the heck out of here.
Jeff Howe's covered a little bit of the Jags for The Athletic. He tweeted this in the last half hour. Jags QB Trevor Lawrence going to rehab around the clock this week to give himself a chance to play through the high ankle sprain per sources. Too early to know how the ankle will respond and whether he'll be available Sunday, but they aren't ruling it out yet. I mean, so it wasn't like super new information, but in the last half hour, like, Trevor's going to see if he can miraculously be ready for Sunday, which I think we kind of felt like he would. I just don't know if I feel like that miracle is going to happen.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Hey, closing the loop on Casey's question. No, you're not working in a couple of minutes. The Jimmy V Classic doubleheader up ahead.
There we go.
How about that?
Basketball.
Who's in it?
Well, I hope you got all your good takes in during this show, Kasey.
I actually was holding some.
I got FAU versus Illinois in the first game.
You're joking.
And
FAU, man, a Final Four team.
Yeah, North Carolina, another big program, versus UConn.
Well, to give you the best here on ESPN 690, you can listen to some college basketball coming up next. For Kasey Kuhrts, it's got a short day. Save your takes for tomorrow.
Probably not. I'll
At
forget
96.9, the Eagles. Aaron Schachter.
That's me.
I'm Brent Martineau. Have a good night, everybody. We'll do it again on ESPN 690, and I'll see you on TV tonight, CBS 47 and Fox 30, 7 o'clock, Jags Report live from Sneakers.
Night, everybody.
Let's do it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Do ball.
Have a good night, everybody.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
It's old school card collecting with new school breaks. Davoli's House of Cards does it all. Missing a card from an old 1987 baseball top set? They probably have it. Want to join in on a live TikTok break with the hottest new cards? You can do it with Davoli's House of Cards. Stop on by, talk some sports, find your favorite cards for your kids or for you, like when you were a kid. From Trevor Lawrence rookies to Pokemon and more, Davoli's House of Cards on 210. And join their live breaks on TikTok at Davoli's House of Breaks.
The 12 Days of Christmas is back and better than ever at Best Bet Jacksonville. From December 12th to the 23rd, we're lighting up the tables with the much-anticipated 12 Days of Christmas High Hands and giving away over $275,000 in cash. The excitement grows each day, starting at $1,200 and climbing up to $2,300. $300 and the chance to set sail on a World Poker Tour cruise. Don't miss out on the action. Explore all our December promotions at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com, your destination for the best poker action this holiday season.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it. Have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Connecticut K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut Premier softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer, Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity. The future of college football is now, and our primary goal is to position the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl and Jacksonville to be prepared for a potential college football expansion. And we need you, our local business leaders, to join our team and showcase that Jacksonville supports college football. Gator Bowl Sports has opportunities for all companies, whether you have 5 employees or 5,000. I would love to meet you and talk about our future. If you'd like to learn more, contact me at 904-798-1700.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.